Our respected chief guest, His Excellency Ahmed bin Jafar al-Musalmi, Governor of Central Bank of Oman. Our respected guest of honor, His Excellency Sheikh Faisal bin Abdullah Alrawas, Chairman of the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and valued guests. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On the behalf of Muscat Media Group, the leading media company and well-known for brands including Times of Oman, Shabiba, Gulf Firas Circle, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to the inaugural edition of the DLive Conference and Awards. Organized under the theme, The Next in Digital Innovation, today's event brings together leading digital transformation experts, technology leaders, and policymakers who are driving Oman's digital innovation agenda in line with Vision 2040. Together, we will explore emerging trends and innovative digital strategies. During the day, we will also present the DLive Awards to celebrate remarkable achievements in digital innovation, recognizing outstanding individuals, organizations, and initiatives that are shaping Oman's digital future. We express our sincere appreciation to our partners, Infoline, Talabat, Khidma, QPay, United Securities, Al-Tasnim, Securado, Schengen, and MENA FinTech Association for their support to the event. To start the proceedings, we would like to invite Mr. Ayman Al-Hassani, Board Advisor of Muscat Media Group, to deliver the welcome address. Thank you very much.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Your Excellency, Ahmed bin Jafar al-Musalmi, Governor of the Central Bank of Oman, our Chief Guest, Your Excellency, Sheikh Faisal bin Abdullah Alrawas, the Chairman of the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, our respected guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we gather not just to discuss, welcome to the DLive Conference and Award 2025. Based on the theme, The Next in Digital Innovation. Today we gather not just to discuss technology, but to celebrate the path-breaking ideas and the game-changing transformations that are redefining the way we live, work, and grow as a nation. As a digital reshapes global industries, Oman stands at the exciting new era, from artificial intelligence and fintech to smart manufacturing and data-driven governance. Digital transformation is no longer a future concept, it is today's reality. We are witnessing remarkable strides, especially in sectors such as banking, oil and gas, where innovation is enabling smarter operation, faster decision-making, and more sustainable growth. Initiatives like the Central Banks of Oman, FinTech, regulatory sandbox, as well as the recent enhancement to the direct debit service, and the Ministry of Transport, Communication, and Information Technology. Tahawul program, setting up a framework for the structure and operational mechanism of the government digital transformation are few examples of how the government is actively accelerating digital innovation across key sectors. Dear guests, Oman Vision 2040 set a compelling path forward, a future driven by the knowledge-based economy, innovation, and global competitiveness. Inspired by the dynamic leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Said, we are witnessing a national commitment and harness the power of digital technology for inclusive and sustainable development. His Majesty's vision encourages us to progressive, creative, and collaborative, as well shapes Oman's digital landscapes. And at the very heart of this transformation is our young generation, curious, connected, courageous. Their digital fluence, mindset, and hunger to innovate are already making waves across startups, academic, and corporate sectors. They are not just the future of Oman. They are the present force driving our digital ambitions forward. Ladies and gentlemen, DLive is more than just a conference. It is a platform of a dialogue, discover, and recognition too. We will present the DLive Awards honoring individuals, companies, and initiatives that are not just adopting cutting-edge digital technology, but are using it to make a meaningful impact. Without further ado, I would like to thank the partners, sponsorships, and speakers for their support, making today's event reality. Let's make DLive 25 unforgettable celebration of Oman digital future. Thank you, Your Excellencies. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening for me. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. As we look toward 2040, Oman's dedication to digital transformation aims to position the nation as a regional leader in digital banking, fintech, and innovation, promoting inclusive growth, enhancing financial inclusion, and building a sustainable, knowledge-driven economy, and that benefits all its citizens and stakeholders. The journey has begun, and the future is ours to create, because the best way to predict the future is to create it. As we navigate the dynamic global landscape, we seek technological trends reshaping economies and societies worldwide. The rise of artificial intelligence and machine learning, cloud computing, the proliferations of the Internet of Things, and the expansion of blockchain technology and the increasing importance of cybersecurity are all pivotal drivers of digital transformation. The competitive advantage in this digital age is the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn. These innovations are disrupting industries at unprecedented scale, speed, and simplicity, challenging traditional business models and orthodoxies. It is indeed astonishing to note that more data has been created in the past 5 years, more than the last previous history of human race combined. The number of sensors shipped to manufacturing has increased from 4.2 billion in 2012 to over 30 billion in 2024. The computing power of the latest iPhone, for example, is over 150 times more than the original iPhone. And we are told even the computing power of the washing machine today is more than what NASA needed to go to the space back in the 60s. So data is the new oil, as the saying goes, and advanced analytics are projected to contribute $10 to $15 trillion to the global GDP by 2030. Countries that effectively harness these trends position themselves as global leaders in innovation and economic growth. In this context, Oman is making significant strides to embrace these global shifts. Our Vision 2040 aims to elevate the contribution of the digital economy to the Oman's GDP from a modest 2% to an ambitious 10% by 2040. This goal transcends beyond mere statistics. It reflects our commitment to building a resilient, diversified, and knowledge-driven economy, one that leverages technology to improve lives, promote innovation, and enhance our global competitiveness. We always overestimate the change that will happen in 2 years, but underestimate the change will happen in the next 10 years. But Oman's vision is to prepare for that long-term change. Oman also is actively developing its digital infrastructure and unlocking unprecedented opportunities for growth. The fintech sector is flourishing and the e-commerce landscape is expanding rapidly, driven by young, tech-savvy population. Through harnessing the power of AI, Internet of Things, and digital skills development, we are creating a vibrant digital ecosystem where innovation leads to better services and new opportunities for all. Currently, 80% of essential government services are digitized. And in 2024, digital transactions have increased to approximately 27 million, tripling that number from 2023. Initiatives like Shifa app in healthcare and the digitization of over 1,700 government services exemplifies Oman's commitment to digital innovation. And the digital transformation basically is our modern way of serving the society better. The Tahawul program, Oman's flagship digital transformation initiative, is advancing our digital economy and governance. And globally, Oman has made impressive progress, advancing 26 places in the Telecom Infrastructure Index within just 2 years, now ranking 22nd worldwide. This is impressively amazing, and I think the government deserves a big round of applause for this achievement. And the fourth industrial revolution will lead to a convergence of technologies that is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. And Oman is positioning itself as a key player in this industrial revolution. And the Central Bank of Oman, of course, is at the forefront of all of this transformation. It is dedicated to promoting a vibrant digital banking environment through a robust regulatory framework that balances innovation and obviously stability. Our initiatives aim to position Oman as a regional leader in digital finance, promoting financial inclusion, security, and sustainable growth. Omani banks are rapidly adopting digital solutions, offering innovative services that enhance customer convenience and align with the global banking trends. The evolution of digital payments has accelerated in Oman, with over 95% of retail transactions are now processed through digital platforms. Frameworks like cloud services and eKYC have streamlined customer onboarding and transactions, while the upcoming initiatives like Buy Now, Pay Later, Open Banking, are set to further modernize our financial sector. We are very stubborn on the vision, but we are flexible on the means to that vision, emphasizing the importance of strategic clarity and rapid change. The transformation extends into e-commerce as well, driven by increased internet and smartphone penetration, personalization powered by AI, is creating tailored user experiences, making online shopping more engaging and efficient. The Central Bank of Oman is actively working to advance the financial ecosystem by promoting innovation, modernizing payments, and strengthening digital infrastructure and cybersecurity. Our emphasis on open banking and fintech development is crucial, and we have outlined a comprehensive roadmap built on 5 key pillars. First, regulatory frameworks, creating supportive regulations that encourage innovation while maintaining stability. Second, infrastructure, developing resilient digital frameworks for seamless integration of fintech solutions. Third, incubators and accelerators, providing resources and mentorship to nurture startups. Fourth, talent development, cultivating a skilled workforce tailored for the fintech sector. And fifth, research and development, promoting cutting-edge innovation through focused initiatives. So the Central Bank of Oman is at the forefront of our fintech sector is rapidly growing through regulatory reforms and homegrown startups. The fintech regulatory sandbox has enabled 18 companies to pilot innovative solutions in a controlled environment, boosting financial inclusion and reducing costs. Additionally, our educational initiatives, such as the FinTech Professional Certificate, launched in partnership with the College of Banking and Financial Studies, aim to develop a highly skilled talent pool ready to support this digital revolution. As technology continues to reshape financial services, Oman is positioning itself as a regional hub for technological excellence. With strong regulatory support and clear national digital vision, we are committed to innovations that benefit our society, grow our economy, while safeguarding stability. Now, digital transformation, it's not just about technology. It is about mindset. It's about reimagining what's possible and daring to turn dreams into reality. The potential for growth in Oman is limitless. It's immense, only if we continue to embrace that mindset and navigate the challenges ahead with resilience and foresight. Thank you, and have a great day. Thank you.
We now invite His Excellency Sheikh Faisal bin Abdullah Alrawas, Chairman of the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, on stage to deliver the keynote speech. Thank you.
Your Excellency Ahmed bin Ja'far Musalmi, Governor, Central Bank of Oman. I don't know what an amazing speech you have, and I don't think my words will come any near of yours, but I will try. Distinguished attendees, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is my pleasure to begin by extending my sincere thanks and appreciation to Muscat Media Group for their kind invitation and for organizing this distinguished event, which brings together a select group of experts, innovators, and digital transformation leaders under one roof to discuss the future of innovation and its role in shaping a more advanced and sustainable economy. The conference titled "The Next Generation of Digital Innovation" reflects the ambitious directions of Oman Vision 2040 towards building a knowledge-based economy founded on innovation, one that enhances efficiency, boosts competitiveness, and achieves sustainability. As a representative of the private sector and a strategic partner in the national development journey, the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry has remained committed to supporting digital transformation, empowering institutions and entrepreneurs to adopt digital solutions, thus enhancing productivity and keeping pace with the accelerating global changes. We believe that innovation is no longer a technological luxury, but rather a core pillar in building a resilient economic model that enables institutions to respond effectively to challenges, create a new growth and employment opportunities, and empower youth to lead and make an impact. The OCCI has placed a special emphasis on supporting small and medium enterprises to be part of this transformation, and it has also worked to strengthen partnership between public and private sector and encouraged the business environment to embrace modern technologies such as artificial intelligence and other tools of the fourth industrial revolution. We are pleased to participate in this platform that celebrates excellence and creativity in digital innovation, and we value the recognition of the pioneering module that contribute to accelerating this transformation and enhancing the Sultanate of Oman's position as a regional hub for technology and innovation. In conclusion, I once again express my gratitude and appreciation to everyone involved in organizing this event. I wish you continued success, and to all participants an inspiring and fruitful knowledge-sharing experience. Thank you, and peace be upon you. Shukran.
Moving on, we now invite our next speaker, Saud Al-Zakwani, Head of Digital Transformation in Petroleum Development in Oman. He needs no introduction, but I do have to do the formality. He is a forward-thinking technology leader specializing in digital transformation, AI, and automation. At PDO, he drives innovation by leveraging AI, data science, and emerging technologies to optimize operations and maximize value. With a strong background in AI-driven solutions, he has led groundbreaking projects in generative AI, drilling optimization, and gas condensate production. The topic of his presentation is the rise of thinking machines, AI's role in redefining our future. Please welcome Saud Al-Zakwani on stage.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, if I knew who presented before me would present how they presented, today was a good day to take a sick leave. But anyway, I'll do my very best. I prepared a presentation. It's partially PDO, partially my perspective, and redefining what AI means to us from an organization perspective, and also individuals. Yes. So I work in PDO as head of digital transformation, and I've been working for the past 6 years, and totally agree to the coined terms of digital transformation has not much to do with technology, but the mindset itself. AI hit us when ChatGPT was introduced. I think it was one of the instances where we actually got to see not artificial intelligence, but applied intelligence. Artificial intelligence today is rather not much artificial, but how we apply it in our day-to-day lives. And I'll take you through a very basic understanding on technology and how technology implies to us, individuals or organization. So if you look at technology, technology is nothing but a capability you're introducing to your organization. And it cuts across 3 tiers. It comes as automation. Automation is plain and simple, being able to do A to Z on a set of rules. Prior to automation, there is digitization. Digitization is an effort that you prepare so that you can actually automate. So there's nothing much value in digitizing anything. If you scan a document and you're not going to use it, you have just digitized a document with no value. Automation is something we are very matured in. From an automation perspective, I would say, if not 90, probably more than 90% of our organizations have one or more automated processes within. Automation has been a legacy introduction on capabilities. For us, some of us, we were fond of automation from Microsoft Excel, where we used to use record, VBA, click a button, and the whole report generates. Second tier of capability is augmentation. Now, a lot of us confuse ChatGPT as this is the pinnacle of AI. Well, ChatGPT is just the second tier of our capability on an organization. Today, the AI that we actually use, if ChatGPT could send you emails, then we are touching autonomy. But most of the time, ChatGPT prepares the email for you to read so that you can actually be able to send it. Augmentation is a very fundamental element for most of our organizations based on if we do not adapt and we stick to automation, we are missing out a really big capability addition, not only from a profit angle, but sustainability. In PDO, we used to grow, we are almost 10,000 employees. As of date, we are not growing as fast as we used to because we are looking at an augmentation perspective. Every employee we would like to recruit, we actually look at that employee's career prospect. If the employee is a data entry, we don't introduce because data entry is no longer a capability manpower needs introduction to. Data entry is part and parcel of automation. Lastly is autonomy. Autonomy is when you actually sit at home and your car goes off and comes back with groceries without even thinking about it. Autonomy is when you actually have cargo driving from PDO to any part of the site just because the inventory stock is diminishing. Autonomy, we've started seeing instances of it. There are cars, there are taxis which can take you from place to place where you don't see a driver in it. However, autonomy, I can boldly say we are not ready for it. From a risk angle and from a governance angle, most of our organizations do not have policies where we can actually look back at AI and say that AI did it well or did not do it well. We still depend on ourselves, our workforce, to be able to actually categorize that decision making. So as long as we actually take decisions, we are in augmentation, and the day we actually allow AI to do end-to-end, then we are touching autonomy. Now, a big fundamental switch from industrial revolution is one thing and one thing only: the ability for machines to be able to think. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have AI applications which can not only do rule-based, but it can actually think. It has curiosity. People say it does not have a personality. You need to chat with ChatGPT. You'd find out some things about yourself also. And the ability of machines being able to think touches the fundamental decision-making part that we actually were very comfortable with. Today, our decisions might not be as efficient as an AI's decision. And there is where the rise of thinking machine plays a major key role in what we do. Now, if you look at automation, augmentation, and autonomy, most of the time we used to say AI is going to take our jobs. Before, autonomy, nah. Most possibly from a job description, AI might touch 5 to 10% from experience in PDO. But AI does not take your job completely. However, AI's capability of thinking and touching autonomy, that's a very different ballgame. Almost a week ago, OpenAI introduced that they are coming up with something called agentic software engineers. Agentic software engineer is an AI module that can actually code for you. Rather than going to IT department, setting up a budget, writing up your business review documents of what you want an application to look like, an AI should be able to do it for you. Software engineers, I wouldn't say that they're going out of jobs, but I can definitely say they have to start thinking on how they actually perform. I strongly believe on one thing, and one thing on AI is AI might not take our jobs, but the people who are using AI would definitely do. So if we are not using AI effectively, we need to rethink our job titles again. Okay. I'll tell you a story. Some of you may probably know. 2018, I was tasked on the automation program in PDO. Now, prior to that, it's not like PDO was not doing automation. However, I used to call it, we used to have this silo of excellence approach. We had automation scattered around, but we cannot holistically look at it as one. So you have an automation which is helping us produce more oil, but it's just helping us in producing more oil. Then you have a Y and a Z. So my task was to bring everything together. And I knew in order to be able to do that, I needed to form a team. 2018, we focused on finance. We looked at the automation capabilities, onboarded them, and we employed the first person, I'm not putting pictures, called Fatma. Fatma was specific for finance function. We used to do monthly end reports, and there was a lady who would actually come at the 11th hour of every end of the month to make sure she actually finalizes the monthly end report after everyone submits. 11th hour, it's almost close to midnight, not very best at work-life balance. So we started onboarding Fatma on a lot of these processes. We went to Salama. HSC is very important. 6 a.m. an HSC report has to be sent across management. Without it, we don't start our day. Salama took care of that. Najma, we went through exploration where we actually calculated central velocity. She was really good in looking at every well we drill, we actually accumulate knowledge into it. Najma also helped us in COVID. So she used to make sure all of the 10,000 employees, whoever sets foot in the organization, had to fill up a form and was very sure that they were feeling very well. And lastly, Muadh was in engineering, from rationalizing alarm cost estimation, took care of all of it. Ladies and gentlemen, before the introduction of agentic AI, in 2018, we had 4 robots. We call them Fatma, Salama, Najma from the business. Actually, when we reached Najma, we have a director. She's no longer with PDO, Haifa. She put her foot down and she said, stop it. We cannot have all 4 ladies' names. So we went for Muadh. So 3 ladies, 1 gentleman has been working with us from 2018. And today, we note 1,118% of return on investment. Don't tell my team, but these are the best team members I've ever had. None of them came for promotion. None of them took a sick leave. None of them had any conflicts. And the best part about it, they work 24/7. Ladies and gentlemen, 2018, we decided we're going to start with 4 robots, And every year we actually address a workload. Today we have 106 processes addressed. Every year we address a workload, we are going to add robots. 2018 we started with 4, today we still have 4. We are only utilizing 70% of their capacity. I think for the next 1 or 2 years, hopefully, I always say this, 1 more year, then we'll have a new introduction. But I can assure you one thing, the 5th robot, we have a list of nominations or names from people's children to very interesting other names that we cannot pronounce. We call the automation program the digital workforce from an aspect where we were very early challenged on when we shared productivity based on the actual workforce. And I'll give you an example. If you're actually implementing automation, will probably be helpful. So we used to present these 4 robots, how much equivalent FTE, full-time employee, of work they have done. And the minute we reached 4, very early on, questions started on 2 areas. The management wanted to know who are these 4 people that the robots actually replaced, which we didn't have answers to. And the workforce was very cautious. The mindset was not to support us. Everyone you actually approached, they looked at it, the robot is going to take my task. This is mine. I'm the accountable person for it. I don't need your help. I've been doing it for 10 years. So we shifted the whole presentation to, rather than saying that we are saving 16 employees, now we are actually looking at return on investment, and we're also calculating how many hours we actually save. Yeah. I'll take you through a couple of oil and gas examples that we have been very successful in, and then I'll come with my AI perspective on how machines think. Before we jump into any of the use case, we are very familiar with Google. Google, you ask a question, you have a list of ranked answers. If you use AI as Google or ChatGPT, then you're not maximizing it. AI, I always say, ask it chunky questions. Don't ask AI, what is going to be my profit next year? No. If you are a product company, ask AI, where's my next 1,000 customers going to come from? And it will specify clearly. Those are chunky questions. Those are questions where you cannot just go back and build a report out of it. Stuck pipe is one of the most challenging aspects of non-productive time when we drill for oil. So drilling for oil, we drill around close to 3 kilometers, sometimes 5, depending if it's a development or exploration well. When you drill so deep and connect it with pipelines, you have challenges of getting stuck. And when you get stuck, you practically can't do much. You either pull out, if you're lucky, or you cut the string and you start drilling again, where you lose time, you lose the equipment, and it's considered a very significant contributor to PDO's oil and gas productivity. Sorry. So we put AI to the test. We looked at Google Maps. In Google, it's very clear. When you start your maps, you can make a point on when you'll reach your destination, and it tells you exactly where the congestion points are. We took the same concept, implemented it in drilling, and before we drill a well, we can actually specify zones which we have to be very careful. From the introduction of AI, now it's almost 4 to 5 years. This is one of the contributors which has helped PDO reduce 70% of stuck pipes. We're talking about $20 to $26 million. We took the same concept. We said, okay, AI is really good in predicting stuck pipes. What happens to the rest of the non-productive time? Mud loss, a drill string overpull, and we noted everything. I can say one thing, PDO has a wealth of knowledge. When we're actually building AI, we're talking about close to 10,000 wells. This grants us a really good accuracy, and today WAFI or STEP accuracy is not based on the concepts out there or the AI gurus, but also the wealth of data PDO has been collecting all over these years. Lastly, we wanted to be more of a leading indicator when it comes to HSE rather than lagging. What this means is we don't wait for an incident to happen, and then we actually look at it, okay, a safety incident, what happened? We came to realize if we needed this, we needed a good infrastructure. We have around 2,000 CCTV cameras, and we employed video analytics. Now, 2,000 CCTV cameras, if you do not have AI, you need approximately 200 people to view the screens. Each person looks at around 16 screens, 8-hour shifts, 200 people to be able to take you to the leading indicators. Video analytics, hardly 2 people. It pushes all of the incidents that you might have missed. This is a very important introduction to the company, where we also believe safety incidents is part and parcel of a behavior that was never stopped, or somebody culturally feels doing X while they're not supposed to do it, continues doing it, and then you get a safety incident. We found out quite a number of incidents from people who literally for 2 minutes remove their hats where they're not supposed to. When drilling string is active, they're putting their hands in between. This is, it's almost known to them at the back of their conscious, but that since they are already used to doing it, nobody tells them, then it becomes quite difficult. Yeah. Yes. So, some of you have built your own house, and you've gone through the process. When I was building mine, before I built mine, my brother told me, if you want a house, buy it, don't build it. If you build it, you're going to put 5 years extra on your age. And he was not wrong. Before building a house, you usually go for plans, and after plans, then you render and you get your 3D image. You literally see your house before you build it, and based on your budget, you start cutting cost, and you have a very different house. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you see the house, you're building it, and then you start building it knowing exactly this is your plan. Ladies and gentlemen, prompt as you see it took hardly 15 seconds to render a 3D image of a house. This takes literally 3 to 4 weeks. And before rendering, the consultant tells you, are you sure? If I click this button, there's no going back. If I click this button, you're going to pay 250 riyals extra. Should I go for it? And you're just looking at the wireframes, not knowing, should I go? And then you say, oh, let's go for it. 15 seconds. My son thinks my glasses are not cool at all. So he keeps on telling me, change it, change it, change it. And he wants some glasses which I'm not really sure how I'm going to look, but yet again I said, you know what, I'll give it a go. So I asked him, and he says that these glasses, you get them online. And a fast experience. I've never bought specs online. Put all of my measurements, and then there's one measurement which I did not know what it was. PD, pupillary distance. For those who don't know, pupillary distance is the distance between your two pupils, yes. And I was at home trying to figure out what to guess. Is it 1,000? Is it 100? Is it 5? I had no idea. Google search didn't help me at all. Explain exactly what it was. So I figured out one thing. I took my card. Yeah, the numbers are not there. I'm not going to ask you for money. Don't worry. I took my card and sent it to an AI platform and asked it, calculate my PD. While it did not give me an accurate reading, but it did give me that your PD is between 64 to 68. And I was very curious, how did it actually reach there? And I started asking questions. The first answer was, benchmark, males is usually 62 to 66, Females is 60 to 64. And another benchmark, credit card standard is 85.6 mm, close to 9 centimeters. So based on that, it calculated the pixels and gave me a range. Now, did I use the range? Definitely not. I wanted to know, is it correct or not? When I went to measure, it comes to 66.2, not very far. And last use case, this is a very recent use case. My wife wanted me to buy a sofa. I never knew what she wanted, but very recently, we got a sofa that she actually wanted. And she wanted a picture and a coffee table. Being me, took a picture, asked an AI, place a very classical picture on top of it and a coffee table. In less than 5 seconds, I show her a picture and she loves it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know where I can buy the picture and the coffee table, please let me know after this session. Now she wants me to buy items where ChatGPT has no idea where I can purchase. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Moving on, it is now time to celebrate the outstanding achievements in the digital innovation space and present the DLive Awards to the outstanding individuals, organizations, and initiatives that are shaping the digital future. Overall, we will be presenting 15 awards divided in 2 sets. Right now, we will present the first set of 7 awards. To do the honors, I would like to invite our guest of honor, His Excellency Sheikh Faisal bin Abdullah Alrawas on stage. I would also request Mr. Ayman Al-Hassani kindly accompany His Excellency. The first award of the day is for On-Demand Delivery Platform of the Year. As the Sultanate embraces digital transformation, the winning platform takes the lead in normalizing digital payment habits across the value chain from traditional retailers to modern cloud kitchens, reinforcing confidence in digital transactions. And the winner is Talabat. The next award is for safety through innovation. It goes to a leading company for its innovative and intelligent integrated logistic management system that supports the company's fleet of over 6,000 vehicles and transport over 20,000 workers. The winner is Al-Tasneem Enterprises. The next award is for excellence in AI in auto. The winner is a highly successful SUV of a leading auto company known for pioneering the integration of advanced AI-driven features that enhance driver assistance, safety, and personalized in-car experiences. And the winner is Shanghai Unique. The next award for the Cybersecurity Company of the Year. The winner company combines global expertise with local excellence to deliver cutting-edge cybersecurity services and solutions, protecting organizations and securing the nation's digital future. The winner is DreamLab Technologies Oman. Moving on, the next award is for Innovative Cybersecurity Company of the Year. The winner is a leading managed security service provider delivering customized cybersecurity solutions that proactively protect digital ecosystems across industries. And the winner is Secorado. The next award is for Cloud Services and Data Center Company of the Year. The winning company is known for establishing state-of-the-art data centers and delivering comprehensive cloud services that drive digital transformation and supports the digital economy across sectors. And the winner is Datamount. The last award in the first set of awards is the AI Leader of the Year. The winner has already mesmerized us with his insightful presentation on AI. Do we still need to take his name? Please welcome back on stage the winner of AI Leader of the Year award, Saud Al-Zakwani from PDO. Now this brings us to the end of the first set of awards presentation. Congratulations to all the winners, and thank you, Your Excellency and Mr. Ayman, for doing the honors. We now invite on stage our next speaker, Ali Abdul Hussein Al-Lawati, co-founder and chief technology officer of QPay. He is a distinguished expert with over 20 years of experience in driving digital transformation, fintech innovation, and AI applications in the utilities and services industry. He is known for his strategic thinking, analytical mindset, and deep expertise in applying AI to areas such as the micro-lending market, digital asset accounting, reporting, legal and regulatory compliance, and records management. Please welcome Ali Al-Lawati on stage. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Your Excellency. And I would like to just give you, so the video we started with was about how we go about going into the stress of daily stress, how to split your payments, how to make, I want to purchase something, I'm not able to purchase something. So this is where QPay's story started, actually. So we driven the innovation in finance through AI. So our journey started with basically founded with the mission to redefine customer finance in Oman, basically. Now, what we were thinking there, we were thinking to give chance to people with no credit history. Give chance to low-income customers and expats and gig workers. See, these are the ones, or these categories today do not have the capacity to make instant purchases. So we said, okay, let's come up with an idea, and QPay was the idea. So what did we do? So what we wanted from this journey, we wanted instant approvals. We wanted embedded regulatory and risk consideration within a platform. We wanted no interest for people, so they pay or they can purchase stuff without paying excessive interest, like the banks charge today, and simplify user experience via the app and integration. Me, myself, and Khalid Al-Mahrouqi, the co-founders of QPay, the idea that we established the company was to basically promote financial inclusion in Oman through innovative fintech solutions. We were succeeded by being the first BNPL in the central bank sandbox. We went through an amazing journey and amazing support by the central bank. So what was the problem? So again, there were multiple things. Me and Khalid said, okay, we need to define a problem before we go about developing a solution. So we thought, okay, let's look at absence of credit history, inability to afford purchases. With time, after you start working, additional responsibilities come, a lot of payments, so people are not able to afford to do instant payments of big amounts. We said, okay, let's come up with an idea to solve that. High interest rates on credit card and personal banking. So we said, okay, let's try to find an alternative way to make sure that people do not pay interest. So we said, okay, instead of charging the individual, let's charge the merchants. So this is what we did. And most importantly, within the journey, we wanted instant approvals. Today, with the ecosystem that we have, we are capable to give instant approval. So now, how is it done? So demand for a real-time mobile-first service. So we need to come up with an application, and then we embedded the regulatory needs and compliance through Mala'a. So Mala'a, we went to Mala'a. We were the first one to really be onboarded on Mala'a. And we said, okay, we want an instant decision-making system that can help us to evaluate a customer and give an instant credit and competitive fintech landscape. So our key pillars was AI-enhanced micro-lending, seamless KYC compliance automation, and a scalable cloud infrastructure. Now, again, when we were looking for a cloud infrastructure, because we are financial transactions, we wanted a cloud infrastructure in Oman. So Oracle Cloud was one of the options that we have selected. Now, how does the application work? You onboard yourself, you do the seamless KYC, embedded finance, register yourself, you will see multiple merchants, you will have the option to do an in-store or an online shopping. You split your installments into 4, you will see the schedule of your installments, and subsequently you can manage and track your spendings. So that was what we have developed. Now, so what we are doing, or what we did, was basically introduce smart credit scoring using behavioral data. Now Malaya is still providing some behavioral data by connecting to telephone service providers like Kawthar, Ooredoo. So we take that behavioral data as well. Is he persistent in his payments? Is he doing his payments on a regular basis? So that is helping us as an AI. So this is where the AI comes in. So we make sure that we gather all this information and we do a sound credit scoring of this individual in addition to the credit score that he has in Malaya. Documentation analysis, you just upload NFC, your ID card, we capture the information, we gather all the information from Malaya again. Predictive analysis for loan performance and risk mitigation. We have embedded a risk mitigation formula within our backend to help us to come to a very sound credit. So increase approvals speed by 90%, which is actually more than 90%. Today, I can give you an approval instantly, and it's 100% accurate. I would say 95% accurate, okay? Reduce compliance process, because today when I'm doing compliance process, I'm getting the AML, I'm getting the sanction list, I'm getting the PIP scoring, so I'm getting a 360 view of that individual. So these are helping me and improve satisfaction, user satisfaction. Now, what is the value propositions that we bring in here today? Okay, let's talk about the customer. Customer, he receives his product first, payment without credit cards, and reward points. And more importantly, the customer can split his payments and increase his purchasing power, where we are actually lacking today. Now, what we are giving to the merchants, sales growth, customer acquisition, and avoid non-payment risk. So we are taking the risk as QPay, and we're making that the sustainability of the ecosystem of merchants are actually increasing. Instead of being 2-year cycle, it can go to more than that. What is next for us as QPay and the fintech ecosystem? AI-powered financial risk assessment tool, which is wellness tools, adaptive learning system based on real-time financial behavior. So we can so this is what is in our pipeline as QPay. Expansion across border, BNPL, and ethical AI governance and fintech. Finally, I would like to say, the future of finance belongs to those who innovate responsibly and inclusively. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Muadh Al-Omairi, Vice President Commercial of Infoline. With over 18 years of corporate experience, he is a seasoned leader in the CX industry, known for his strategic vision and customer-centric approach. He excels in driving growth, innovation, and operational excellence. He holds certifications in customer analytics and business process management, and was among the first Omani leaders selected for the CCL Leadership Development Program. At Infoline, he spearheads strategic planning, market development, and customer experience initiatives. The topic of his presentation is Actionable Private Gen AI. Please welcome Muadh Al-Omairi on stage. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, esteemed guests, very good morning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, less than a year ago, we celebrated our 20th anniversary. And there it was a shifting point for us. It wasn't about a new identity, but we have explored the world of AI. And while exploring the world of AI and looking at so many tools and acquired many technologies that we brought into Oman, Today, I will just explain one of many tools that we have been able to test and deliver on. So here, where AI meets business excellence. And I'll ask a question, and I assume that I know the answer, but then let me see if my assumption is right. Prove me wrong. So how many people uses or have ever used DeepSeek or AI, I mean ChatGPT? I expect the entire room, right? Yeah, pretty much, right? So how many people use it weekly? All right, that's a good number. Now, promise my last question, and the last time I'll ask a question today. How many people use it in their day-to-day life every single day? So I have few friends, good, but this is an indication that we are not there yet in terms of discovering what it can do for us. Now, Saud, he's not on his seat, but he literally took a lot of the content that I wanted to share. And he made my job much easier, that's for sure. So I wanted to thank him for that. What we were able to reach is to control the haywire behavior of ChatGPT, where it drags information, you don't know where the source is from, and you have to control your narrative and your prompts so carefully in order to control what kind of information you're exposing the screen to. So now with a private Gen AI, your organization or your business is able to deliver either to your customers, your internal users, employees, or the decision makers, what kind of information you would like to expose them to. So how do we do that? I'll jump to the use cases, okay, because this is the boring part, this is the interesting one. We have Shaib Mansour. He goes on this speech to text command and talks in his local slang, and he found out that he's retired for 10 years, there's 115 riyals extra. So what's happening there? So let's assume this is an entity that's responsible for getting Shaib Mansour extra income on his retirement. So immediately the Gen AI says, it's due to a royal decree that you are earning more. Now Noura just graduated with a high score of 95% in a high school. And she's wondering, she's asking, can I be a doctor? I mean, duh, obviously. And then, but she's asking, where can I go and what kind of universities are accredited? So now, since we are having a framework and ring fencing what kind of information we're exposing the users to, the accredited universities are immediately produced. So when Saud was talking about autonomy and how can we reach autonomy, we are in the first phases of autonomy here in Oman already. So Nouras asks, what are the recommendations in terms of universities based on cultural diversity, living cost, and security? Because we enabled the AI tool to source certain, I would say, credible sources of information, it was able to gather and recommend the top 3 universities to Noura. Moving to another use case, Kevin would like to start a pharmaceutical business in Oman, and he's wondering what would be the right landscape for him or the right place to start his business in Oman. So we're assuming this is the entity that's responsible to get prospect investments into the country. It gives a comparison for all the free zones that are available, and voila, with the recommendation of X free zone is the best free zone to go to, all right? So it's as instant as that. These are the use cases that are customer facing, whether it's complaint management, creating complaints, checking where your application is. These are all external facing. Now let's look at internal facing, where we sit in our organizations. Dr. Anwar is a physiotherapist, and he's asking about his patient Ahmed. how many sessions out of 6 did he consume? So immediately out of the health management system, based on the integration, it drags the information. When was he admitted? And because we have created for every single diagnostic a recovery plan, immediately the GenAI will drag from the archives of data that we have created and generate the recovery plan for Ahmed. Musa, this is my favorite, I would say, use case because it has 2 things. Number 1, the annual leave. The second part is applying for a loan, right? And I assume that Musa is applying it for his annual leave. So in single command here, Musa would like to apply for a leave, and because we connected the HRMS or the human capital management system, and the Outlook. So it goes to the calendar, finds out when is Musa mostly free, and recommends the best 2 weeks to go out in August. And then for the bank loan, it immediately goes and drags all the PDFs that are required for him to apply to the financial institute. It asks him a question as well. Do you want to apply for a leave? And he says yes. Now it's waiting for the manager's approval. I hope he gets it. Engineer Ali, a CEO, who would like to give a direct award for a $500,000 deal. Now, GenAI says, wait. The authority matrix says you have to go for a tender. Don't rush to it. What sort of documents we require? And then it says, all right, these are the documents. Please send it to legal. So we have the entire, I would say, policies of the company connected to the GenAI and goes fetches for it. So this is not just the traditional ChatGPT-like, but it's an actionable, I would say, bot that serves your needs in your day-to-day, which increases your efficiency and buys you time back. So how does it work? So we ring-fence your private data, we process it locally in local GPUs, and your bot serves you immediately. The industries that I would say that will fancy this tool the most, banking and finance, healthcare, telecom, government, retail, but then the sky is the limit. Regardless of your industry, for sure, this is something that will be, I would say, transformative to your business. Now, we deliver what we promise, so I will request you all to scan this code and book a demo, and in just a matter of weeks, we will be able to demonstrate your private data live with actionable deliverables for your business. So I will be more than happy to contact you directly and work out a demonstration where you can test and see to believe what can be delivered today. Thank you so much.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to present the second set of DLive awards to 8 deserving winners. To do the honors, I would like to invite our chief guest, His Excellency Ahmed bin Jafar al-Musalmi, on stage. I would also request Mr. Ahmed Isa al-Zajjali to kindly accompany His Excellency on stage. Thank you. The first award in this segment is for Excellence in AI-Powered Business Process Solutions. It goes to a leading company for its strategic applications of AI to modernize and optimize business processes. And the winner is Infoline. The next award is for Financial Services Company of the Year. The winner is a leading company delivering innovative, digitally driven and financial solutions that have transformed investment services across Oman and in the region. The winner is United Securities. The next award is for Startup Innovation of the Year. The winning company is a Buy Now, Pay Later BNPL financial services provider offering a seamless, secure, and inclusive platform that empowers both merchants and consumers. Their innovation drives financial accessibility while minimizing risk through cutting-edge technology and data-driven insights. The winner is QPay. The next award is for FinTech of the Year. The winning company is leading Oman's digital transformation by expanding into new verticals that empowers both consumers and businesses. From payments and bill collections to everyday services, they are building a smarter, more connected future for the Sultanate. The winner is Khidma. Next award is for Mobile Banking App of the Year. The winning bank has been selected for delivering a seamless, secure, and user-friendly mobile banking experience with innovative features that enhance customer convenience and engagement. The winner is Bank Muscat. Next award is for Bank of the Year in Digital Innovation. The winning bank has made outstanding strides in leveraging cutting-edge technologies to enhance customer experience, streamline operations, and drive digital transformation across its services. The winner is Sahar International. Next award is for the Chief Information Security Officer, CISO, of the Year. The winner is a seasoned cybersecurity expert with 19 years of experience, specializing in critical infrastructure protection and security across various sectors. As a Chief Information Security Officer, CISO, in a leading bank, he leads teams and initiatives to strengthen cybersecurity through strategic partnerships with critical infrastructure entities, regulations, and law enforcement. He holds a master's degree in digital forensics and a PhD in cybersecurity management. The winner is the Caesar of Oman Housing Bank, Dr. Haytham Al-Hajri. The last award for the day is the MENA FinTech Leader of the Year. The winner is the chairman of MENA FinTech Association. He is also the founder of Phil's region's premier sustainability-focused fintech. He has been recognized as MENA's future fintech leader by the UAE Central Bank. His guidance has ranked MFTA among the top 4 global fintech entities. As an astute investor and a board member for leading tech companies, he is a driving force in a sustainable fintech. Please put your hands together to welcome the winner on stage, Namir Khan. Congratulations, Namir. We look forward to your presentation post-break. So congratulations to all the winners. We request all the winners of both the sets of awards to kindly come on stage for both sets, first and second. We also request His Excellency Sheikh Faisal bin Abdullah Alrawas to kindly also join us for the group photograph. All winners, please come on stage. Group photo is taken.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank organizers for putting this panel together, and we have such an expertise today. We have both regulators, technology and central bank. We have a security service provider today to talk to us. We have innovators and startups as well. So it's going to be an interesting kind of panel, which we will try to enlighten what Oman is doing, where we're going, with the aid of different regularities as well service providers, and where we see ourselves in the next couple of years and how we're going to achieve more greatness today. So let's start with central bank. I mean, you are the regularity of all the banking industry. How do you see central bank is playing a vivid role in providing those regularity and adaptation of the new ways of payments like what we've seen today? And how do you see Oman is adapting that fast pace with e-transformation?
All right, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for hosting us here today, and shukran Dr. Haytham for starting with me. Well, I think Central Bank of Oman is playing very active role in this space in terms of supporting the digital innovation and the digital transformation of the financial and banking sector. We've been doing lots of efforts for the last few years in building the ecosystem that can put a footprint not only in the country, but across the country, in the regions, and even beyond the region. The efforts made by the Central Bank of Oman, I would say I can summarize them into 6 strategic pillars. And I would like to start with the new banking law that has been just recently issued. The new banking law has a great provisions that support the digital transformation and innovation in the country, while striking the balance, of course, with financial stability, taking care of the risk, and putting the right controls in place. For example, let me shed light on the key provisions that the new banking law is enabling. For example, it gives the authority and the power to the Central Bank of Oman to license, for example, digital banks, means offering the different banking and financial services fully through electronic channels. The other also, I would say, enabler is about giving the authority of course, the central banks to allow secure file sharing between the licensed banking and financial institutions with the licensed third parties. And that's a big support to the open banking initiative, which definitely will create, will do a game changer in the market. I think after that, we will see to have more like a bank as a service, which will be evolve. Also, the new banking law also has also give a new way of alternative financing enablement also, such as crowdfunding, the lending-based crowdfunding, also the buy now, pay later, and also giving the central bank the provision to issue central bank digital currency or any other mean of currency. That doesn't mean that we will be issuing CBDC. I need just to clarify this matter. There is a lot of experimentation, exploration, careful assessment on this space, but I think all what I'm trying to say here that the law has given the provision to the Central Bank of Oman, and this is very futuristic in essence. So this is number one. Number two, let me go to the regulatory frameworks. There are a number of regulatory frameworks that have been laid out by the Central Bank of Oman around cybersecurity and resilience, open banking, digital banking, buy now, pay later, cloud policy, and consumer protection. And those are, in my opinion, striking a great balance between innovation and protection and financial stability. Also, because of sake of time, I'll just try to move very fast. Third item, I think the strategy is in place. So we have the national fintech strategy, and we are proudly to say that Central Bank of Oman, that this strategy is part of the strategic and executive programs, part of the digital economy national program, as in addition to other strategy and executive program, that part of it. And also the national payment strategy with an aim and objective to modernize the national payment system, ecosystem, and platforms in the country. Also moving to the infrastructure. In infrastructure development, there are lots of efforts has been done by the Central Bank of Oman. From a technology perspective, we operate 2 state-of-the-art data centers across the Muscat regions. And it's considered to be our backbone of the national digital transformation of the banking and financial sector. We also has a great development on the payment systems, on the national payment system. We continue to enhance, upgrades, develop the national payment system, because this is the backbone of the digital economy today in the country, of the e-commerce industry, for example, to the retail business, to every business in Oman, including the government when they are transferring their salaries and so on. And banks and financial institutions has played an active role on this space, that they are actively aligning with us with our plans. So if I can also, in like a year and a half back, we have upgraded our RTGS system to be 24/7 RTGS system. We are the leader in the region on rolling out such initiative. Looking into some statistics very quickly, just to show how we are moving into more society with less cash. We can see that the digital payment, specifically the point of sale, has an increase by an average of 7.4% every year. And that's mean when we are having an increase on point of sale, that's mean we are having a decrease on the ATM transaction. That means the society is moving into digital and cashless in comparison to withdrawing money. And the ATM transaction, we see a decline around 23% per year, which also proven how we are going into a digital society and cashless society. Our Omannet, the national switch, has processed approximately 433 million transactions in 2024 in comparison to 330 million transactions in 2023. And we have a great spike on the mobile clearing system, which allow the people to transfer money from number to number, from using the QR codes, whether B2B or B2P, that hit 170 million transactions in 2024 in comparison to 40 million transactions in 2023. And the path goes. Also from our side, we have also enabled a digital, I would say, interaction with our banks and financial institutions through our B2B portal. B2B portal, it's a portal that compromises a number of e-services, which we allow enhancing efficiency, productivity between our relationships as being a regulator and the banks and financial institutions, which a number of e-services, and it's keep growing every year. Also, one of the national projects that we also think it has put a real impact on the market is the Hawiya, the national eKYC. It's a collaborative effort between the Central Bank of Oman and Mala'a, where we rolled out it almost, I think, a year and a half back, or even more, where we are allowing the banks to, KYC their customers. Know your customer process is one of the compliance requirements electronically. And this Hawiya program or Hawiya platform is connected now, as we speak, to 23 entities and 9 government bodies as we speak. And finally, in terms of development, infrastructure development, the rollout of soft point of sale policy in 2022, which basically provides the banks an alternative way of providing the merchants with a mean or an instrument to receive digital payments. And instead of the point of sale device, they can use the soft point of sale. Of course, other than that, we do lots of collaborations. We've been actively collaborating with different governments in e-commerce strategy, digital economy strategy, and many others. And finally, let me just touch on the acceleration and incubation as well. We have established our regulatory sandbox, fintech regulatory sandbox, back in 2020. And allowing fintech to start up to test their products in a controlled environment with certain regulatory relaxation with a time bound. And proud to see some of them has the graduates, we see them in here today. A big thanks to the fintech team for their amazing efforts. So it went through a number of cohorts, starting from payments, blockchain, the DLTs in trade finance, to alternative finance, and until the artificial intelligence, which is going on now. And also the FinTech Innovation Hub. There's a great use case that happened in collaboration with Amantel. So this is in quick. I was just trying to just speed up on this so I can have opportunity to my brother and sister here, so to shed light on other aspects.
Sure. I mean, CBO have done wonderful things and great achievements, actually starting from 2020. Do you think COVID was a driver as well for society to adapt more cashless society? I mean, today, for once, we can take, you said 7% increase in using e-payments instead of going to ATMs. Let's do a quick run. How many people here have cash right now instead of using cards? Can they show hands? 1, 2. So most of the people here in the room today are cashless. That means we are reaching cashless society status, and thanks to your adaptation, your guidelines at CBO. And as well, when you collaborate with others, like for example, Kawthar, she's coming from MTCIT, and they are the technology regulator today, and our next in line, collaborating with other banks, not only just regulating banks, collaborating with other institutions like TRA, MTCIT, and so on, foster that initiatives and make it happen faster. So going to the regularity of technology, now we have Kawthar, I know her, she's an old friend of mine. We have worked together like in numerous projects. She's one of the leaders in technology actually and making it happen kind of thing. Kawthar, what do you think today from your position in MTCIT? How do you see the e-transformation happening? Do you see a lot of adaptation from companies or bodies and other entities? Are they moving toward adapting technology, or are they still hesitant a little bit?
Thank you, Dr. Haytham, for the fantastic introduction. Actually, I'm very happy today to hear 2 or 3 presentations. And now again, everyone is talking about digital economy strategy, and that's a good sign. It shows that we're heading towards a clear vision and clear objectives. Let me just confirm that Digital Transformation Program is one of the execution programs of digital economy. We started back then in 2021, where the status of the automation was 34%. And until last year, we have managed to reach up to 74%, aiming to conclude at end of this year to be 80% digitized services. Of course, the program had so many initiatives. It had 36 initiatives and projects, and the initiatives were like categorized in 4 main pillars. The first pillar was focused on the process re-engineering, which is excellence. And we have done multiple of projects and initiatives focused on process engineering. One example that we have done and we resumed last week is Manjam. Manjam, what we do in Manjam is we bring number of organizations into one place to design or redesign a particular service, putting in mind and considering it should be consumer-centric. This is one of our major initiatives in process re-engineering. And then we have another pillar which is focused on the infrastructure, kafa'a. In infrastructure particularly, we're like trying to encourage the entities to go for centralized solutions and like adopt the latest technologies. This is to ensure that we have a good base. Another pillar is e-participation, where we want to involve the society to make our decisions in government. So we have the services are for them. So it's good to hear always from the consumer, what do they actually want, and make them contribute to making decisions in your business. And the other pillar is, I think everyone was talking today about digital transformation. It's not about technology, it's about mindset. That's why in Digital Transformation Program, we have dedicated a pillar that with the several initiatives to ensure that we change the mindset of the government entities. This includes capacity building program, We have done several initiatives in the past years, and we continue to do, focusing on all levels in all levels in the organization. This is one. We have another one in change management, to establish a change management strategy where we ensure that whatever projects come to a place, we have change champions in each organization that can take and lead these projects with success, ensure that the involvement of employees and getting their buy-in, whether it's from top management to execution team. Another thing that we want to foster in the government is we want to establish a digital innovation strategy where we have the innovation strategy and the growth mindset where employees and people are empowered to actually propose solutions. And of course, you cannot say that like empower innovation without providing the ecosystem required for innovation. And also one important thing, and maybe that's our role as a government, is setting the standard and policies that support the adoption of digital transformation in Oman.
Well, one thing you did say that the adaptation is high. I mean, today through the presentation, I see a lot of people using AI. Muadh will talk next about the AI-enabled tools and services. From a regularity perspective, do you think, are we yet reaching maturity level of AI adaptation? Like, I see it's a big driver. Now we have a studio, an AI studio is coming up by MTCIT. And I think the government is driving people to adopt the technology, but in the same time, they want to keep a lot of regularity to ensure that us as citizens using those service-driven are secure, and also there is no potential abuse in the future. So where do you think we are in this stage? Are we yet matured or yet to be matured?
Honestly speaking, I think we are we're going there, we're heading there. We have several programs under the digital economy. Yeah. We have a dedicated AI strategy under the digital economy where we have stated like a number of projects and programs to achieve the objective. Saying so, I think what we saw today, the companies that are coming, these are enablers. These are usually, because one of the main things that mentioned in the AI strategy is to ensure we have AI companies. We want to use AI, like a national AI companies. Of course, you know, especially that you come from security background, it's very important for the government that it should be based in Oman, the cloud based in Oman. So seeing such companies with advanced technology in Oman, this is very promising, and I think we're heading into the right path.
Of course, not only just adapting technology blindly, we as ex-government and my colleague Kawthar, we worked in a number of projects. We don't look at only adapting technology. We want to make sure that it's adapted right, it's done securely, and also potential abuse is limited. I mean, there is always will be abuse. We all know that, but we try to limit the number of abuse. Also, when government adapt this technology, we want to ensure that our data sovereignty, data doesn't leave the country, so the regulation is there, CBO is doing their part, MTCIT is doing their part, and now we want to move to companies who actually produce those technologies. Like, Muadh, today your presentation is wonderful. I mean, it's really great to see such Omani companies are providing such services. Like, you have a digital assistant in your pocket, basically, and you can answer the questions that needed at least 2 to 3 hours, maybe calling 3 different entities all in one place. Tell me, how do you feel as a service provider or a product developer? Do you think we have the grounds to adapt the technology, or yet people feel hesitant? I mean, you are inviting us today through the QR code to try the technology. Where do you feel here? I mean, I hear a lot saying Oman is the best ground to test things out, but also it's a good place to take off to another countries. Tell me your insight.
Well, thank you, Doctor. And I believe the Oman drive towards digital innovation and transformation with alignment of Oman's Vision 2040.
Of course.
I believe the mindset is changing, but then mindset is the first enabler before the AI. AI is a tool, and I was having a talk before we entered this hall. It's like you have a saw, which is traditional, and now you have an electric saw. What it does, it increases your efficiency, and it makes you more scalable. But then if you do not know how to use it right, and if you're not using the tools that you have in your, I would say, back shelf, then all of these tools are just, I would call them flash words.
Collecting dust.
And when last year we sat on different panels, we were talking about the scarcity of being replaced by AI. Today, being a daily user of AI in my work life, in my personal life, I have even projects and folders for health, mental health, physical, my work folders as well as projects. That gave me more perspective that I would love to share, that these AI tools are made to be enablers that make us live a longer life by the moments and memories we create within the same day rather than living extended lives. So the lives that we live is the memories and experiences that we experience. And the efficiency that AI will bring to our work and our lives is tremendous. Now, looking at the challenges is definitely the adoption. The mindset is the biggest lock in anything in life, and AI is one of them. As well as that, organizations' approach to AI, looking at it as an IT project. AI is not an IT project. It's an organization's strategy. It's an organization's digital transformation approach and mindset. And everybody is a player when it comes to that. We create the ecosystem as service providers. But then we're not just service providers, but we're also partners when it comes to creating the landscape and changing the landscape in the country, us and many of us. The landscape in terms of localization, today we have local GPUs that we're utilizing that are generating.
It's a little bit challenge, I know.
And it is a challenge, but then it's doable. When there's a will, there's a way, and this is one of the tools that we have tested and tried, and they are running through local GPUs. We do hybrid models as well, whether it's through AWS hybrid model, GPUs as a service. So these enablers are available. We have the support of the CDC as well. We have the support of MTCIT. And these are all enablers to create the right, I would say, ecosystem in order to have an environment that can grow from, and where you can create AI tools that can change, I would say, the way we actually live rather than the way we work. Yeah.
True. The collaboration as well with regulatory bodies and other technological partnerships is important, because now you're basing your technology on graphic cards and local GPUs, that obtaining them by itself is a mission, because there is a waiting line. And do you feel sometimes this can be a barrier, because you want to run, but you've been forced to walk a lot before that you can start running, because the technology limitation of obtaining? Because I know that there is a limited supply of the GPUs around the world. Now, what do you think we could do, or since the panel here, what things we could do as a government, as other providers of technology, to facilitate those items? Do you think we have a gap in this area?
Well, it all goes back to data classification, because when there's a will, there's a way, but you have to find workarounds, and the limitation does make us squeeze our minds in order to find the right things that should be processed locally and the things that should be offered on cloud. And just to elaborate on that, things that are already published by us, whether we're government or not, these are things that are not high security, neither should they be locally hosted. They're already published. They are on the www. It's out there, right? And everybody can access it. So classifying your data, having your internal data, locally resident and residing with us, rather than putting everything local, working on hybrid models with trusted data centers. And when I say trusted, it's trusted not just by a single entity. We all agree that these are trusted data centers.
And there is a regulatory body who gave them this certification to operate.
And they're there. And, it's no secret, AWS Dublin is one of the, I would say, trusted data centers by the CDC and the MTCIT. On a hybrid model, this is an area that you can explore things that are not sensitive. So we start with the ground zero. Ground zero is classifying your data, understanding what you want to process locally and what you want to expose locally, internationally, etc.
Great. Well, speaking about security, as you touched down, we have one of the leading companies, Dream Labs, here in Oman, providing cybersecurity services, excellent level, not only ties at national level, but also international ties. And do you think, Abdullah, working for such a great company with international ties, and you've been exposed to regularities of different countries, how do you feel the regularities here in Oman for you to provide those services compared to the rest of the world? Do you think we are matching them, or do you think we need some more work, or do you think it's just fine?
First of all, thank you for the invitation to be here in the panels.
It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for the excellent question. Frankly, it's a bit of a tough question because on one hand, when it comes to the compliance side and the regulation side, we're doing quite well, I think. But this is a challenge that we see generally within the cybersecurity industry. There is a gap between compliance and actual security. And filling that gap requires a lot of willpower from organizations and requires security to be something that is ingrained in organizations from the top to the bottom.
Of course. And why I'm going to talk to you, because you've been working with a lot of entities here in Oman. Sometimes, from your experience, do you think you need to educate your clients? Because you're the expert here. You're the security service provider. You're coming to... Do you think sometimes they try to be hesitant on telling you everything? Why I'm saying, because we are in the same field. And I feel that way. But I want to see, how do you feel? Like if you walk into a company that says, we need you to do certain security services, and then you send them a sizing sheet, and they lie in the sizing sheet. We know that. They don't tell you the truth. Do you think it's because they lack the confidence, or because they don't know what they're doing? Because frankly, I think it's a mix of both.
I 100% agree. It is a mix of both. Our job and our task at the end of the day is to provide expertise and to consult and to partner with our clients. And this is always our approach, is to be a security and technology partner to our clients. What that means to us is we're not particularly interested in making sure that you tick some boxes or get some kind of certification, but rather for you to be actually secure. And there is, of course, this is our duty. There is that part of it, but there is also, we can look at it from a selfish perspective where if a client of ours, God forbid, does get compromised, then that reflects badly on the client, on us, and on our entire industry generally. There is always a challenge within organizations when it comes to the technology side of things. The IT departments are always understaffed, overworked, and so much is demanded and expected of them with so little resources given to them. So when you bring in additional requirements such as security, or when you bring in people who audit their work and now tell them that, well, you need to make these changes, a lot of the time, if you don't do it diplomatically enough, this could be taken as an attack on their personal work. And we understand that. A lot of us come from an IT background, and we have been there before.
Yeah, you've been in their shoes before, so you understand where they come from, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it is our job and our responsibility, I think, as security consultants to educate our clients, but to also show them the way and demonstrate to them that we are really their partners. We're not here to judge, and we're not here to make their lives more difficult, but we are here to ensure that they are secure and to help them get there as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible.
All right, so from your expertise dealing here and internationally, where do you see us? Do you see more adaptation of security? They are more open to it. Before it was a luxury, but now it's a necessity for their operations. How do you feel Oman market is? How do you read it? Do you read it that they want to do, they want to spend more on it? I mean, I know when it comes to budget, it's always tight for security. Research and development, even tighter. But for marketing, it's an open door, open check. But how do you see the companies now? Especially more and more e-transformation is happening. You could see everything is online. Regularity is doing their best to keep our data local and safe. How do you see the clients are doing in this field? Do you think you struggle with them, or do you think they are adaptive more than outside? And do you think our experience in Oman can be replicated elsewhere?
So there are multiple facets to this. First of all, in general, in terms of our technology stacks in Oman, we are quite lucky in that we are relatively young as a country that is transforming into technology. So our legacy technologies are not that widespread. We don't have so much in terms of a legacy debt, so to speak. Of course, we still do have it, and many entities such as the central bank have had digital security and digital systems for many decades now, right? This is one example of many. But generally speaking, because we have started recently, it means that the technology that we have today, the oldest technology, is not so old. So that puts us ahead. But as this idea of security becoming a necessity now, as you've said, and as we move into digital transformation, we all very quickly have to adapt to understanding what actual security means and how to get there. We are doing very well in buying technology, but I think we do have work to do when it comes to having the workforce understand how to utilize that technology to its maximum potential, and ensuring that our workforce is experienced enough and knowledgeable enough to actually secure those systems that we have acquired.
True. One of the challenges that we, as a nation, we've been always labeled a consumer of technology. We don't export technology, we import it and we use it. But other part of it as well is not enough to buy the latest device, smartphone in your hand, but how to use it right and how to leverage it right. And I think by educating the customers how to leverage their systems and how to secure it, it's step one. Two, then we go harden it, the systems, and making sure that the client understand, or the end user understand how to best utilize that specific application or hardware. So, a question for everyone here in the panel. If you got sick and they said, we have this expert surgeon who will be flying from somewhere in Europe, you'll have to wait 6 months, or we have this excellent AI robot who can mimic that doctor, or a new surgeon, which one would you pick? Would you wait 6 months? Or would
I'll
you
go
take
for the
AI?
AI. I'm all right.
You're going to go with the AI?
Yes, I'm all right.
Why?
Well, as you said, it mimics. So it learned. And
all right.
A junior needs to practice.
You are
right?
result-driven. It mimics this doctor, so it's fine. Abdullah, what do you think?
I 100% agree. If the AI is being at least monitored by a skilled surgeon, perhaps. If it's a skilled surgeon being augmented by AI, 100% yes. But I don't think we're at the point where automation, autonomy, right?
Yeah.
Where the AI fully does the work. I don't think we're there yet, especially not when it comes to surgery on me.
Your life is precious, yeah?
So you have 1 month down.
Here you go. What do you think?
Well, I think it's case to case. It's case to case because because we're not yet there on the autonomy stage, I would say.
Okay.
So it's case to case. If it is a normal thing, operations, we better not to upset doctors.
So one leg in, one leg out kind of thing. Kawthar, what do you think?
I'll give you an example which happened yesterday. My little boy was not feeling well, so I was trying just to figure out, based on his weight, what could be the dose.
What's wrong with my boy?
No, I didn't know the dose. I asked ChatGPT.
What's wrong with my boy?
And to be very frank, I gave him the dose based on the calculation done by the ChatGPT. This is a real example that how we are adopting and so depending on ChatGPT, which could be good and bad, by the way. So this is all what I can say here.
All right. So, Kawthar, what do you think?
I think I agree with the concept that AI does not replace human. In fact, it helps us to do better. So I still think that the human intervention at this stage is still required. Maybe in future, but for now, it's still required.
So we could say in consensus, like, yes, if there is an AI doctor, I would trust him for an operation. But if it was me, I will ask about how they are connected to the internet, first of all. Who's their IT guy? If he's nerdy looking, I'll trust him. But if he looks like someone who doesn't know what he's doing, I'll probably pull out because I have seen a lot of nightmares in medical AI or let's say IoT devices, talking about those devices now becoming a wearable, implementable. I would trust it if I really have no other option. But again, I'm coming from security background. I know what happens. Companies rush to take the product out, to take that IP. They will think about security later. Security by design could be a challenge for them because number one priority for businessmen is, does it work? If it works, okay, we'll think about security later. But my investment will be actually driven there. Another question, when you talked about CBDC, and for you guys, CBDC is central bank digital currency. So it's not Bitcoin, it's not other things, it's something like it, but issued by central banks. I really got excited when you said we are looking into that, because I remember a project called eReal. It never saw the day of light, but because we are doing a lot of research on it, I know the team who works with you guys, Sultan, the rest, shout out to them, they're really good on that team. Of course, Ghada in startups, she's been through a lot. Where do you think the adaptability of CBDC happening in Oman?
Well, I think before I answer this question, we need to make a clear understanding that what is CBDC. So CBDC is a digital form of the real, of the local currency. Let me put it this way, speaking generally. Yeah. So it's not crypto like Bitcoin and others.
Exactly.
It's not. That we consider it to be a virtual assets. It's not even a currency to us.
Is it an asset though? Because you are still debating.
It could be commodity. It could be commodity where people can buy and get some investment
like an NFT,
opportunity.
for example, it's a commodity.
Yes, but it's not a currency. That's why we don't call it even a cryptocurrency. We call it like a virtual asset. And there's another type, which is a stable coin. And that could be like, again, one of these cryptos, for example, virtual assets backed up by a basket of commodities, real currencies, and then it has a certain amount. And there is an e-currency, well, e-real, and this is what we see it today. I mean, all our transaction is electronic. It's electronic money. Exactly. But they're not digital. So this is we need to make it clear. We are doing lots of experimentation. We're heavily, assessing this, studying this, because see, it's not about just rolling out the product, as you said. You made it very nice from a security perspective. I would take it also from the financial stability and monetary policy perspective. It's not about the technology rather than the use case. And I think this theory applies in any new technology. Unfortunately, lots of organizations, they just decide to go with the technology for the sake of technology and just to be around or with the hype or the buzz of this technology. And in my opinion, this is not right. There should be a clear use case, a clear problem you want to solve in the market, and then by then you do a proper analysis to decide which technology can do this. Because I think a lot of organizations, what they've done, they've jumped into these new technologies, but then the end results were not as optimistic, and then they will be paying lots of OPEX, CAPEX down the line without getting the maximum value that they were expecting, or they could get this value from another technology which much cheaper than this. So coming back to CBDC, it's very difficult to say what could be the use case as we speak, because there are some use cases, but they are still in the experimentation first, in a sense, exploration phase. Countries around the world are plus or minus in similar pace, I would say. Some countries are in the studying phase, some countries are in the proof of concept, some of them could little bit piloting it, but nobody has full-fledged rollout of CBDC yet. Moreover, I would like just to have a follow-up comment on the Gen AI and AI implementation. I think, again, for Oman to be a leading on the implementation of Gen AI, we need to put our focus on 4 strategic pillars. Number 1, again, back to the use case. What are the use cases? What are the measurable KPIs? And what is the expected ROI, I would say, out of implementing Gen AI? Second, we need to have the enabling regulatory frameworks in place. Third, infrastructure. Now, we know that we deal with lots of, in many cases, with data that they are sensitive. So I cannot just do, utilizing Gen AI over the global cloud. So then I need to consider what I have in the local market. So do we have the right infrastructure in place? Yes, but is it up to the expectations? We need to really assess it. And fourth point is the talent. We need to work on upskilling the talents in parallel while we are building this era. And sorry, number 5 is the collaboration. I think a mix of regulators, tech companies, for example, technology companies, as well as the players like banks, finance companies, fintechs, and so on. There should be collaborative efforts so we can have a plan that is actionable, practical, and not theory.
True. And I think not enough national level, but you need to collaborate internationally. You need to see what other countries are doing and how we collaborate with the other countries. If it is a CBDC, then I can use it in Oman, I can use it anywhere in the world. So it facilitates that kind of collaboration.
Exactly, because when we talk about CBDC, there are 2 major models. We have a retail CBDC and we have a wholesale CBDC. And some countries also around the world, they were exploring how they can utilize CBDC in cross-border payments.
Of course. Yeah.
So there are many, as I say, there are many use cases. It all depends to really prove the viability of this use case before we move any step forward.
True. I don't know if the time allows for any questions or if we can have more few chats. Or there's a crowd questions here today. We have such a great panel here. Any questions? Well, if there is none, I will just give final thoughts to our colleagues. Kawthar, what would you like to say the future of technology and e-transformation? Any last words? Any insights? Any new thing exciting in the pipeline?
I think maybe it's very important to highlight here the vision, Oman Vision 2040 has stated or emphasized the importance of having a government body that can predict the future. And today, technology is rapidly developing, and we're using technology everywhere. We're actually sending data everywhere. Saying so, I think government bodies and institutions should use this as an opportunity to design their strategies to be data-driven instead of just depend on their intuition. I think it's important to start working on data-driven strategies, and there are a lot of approaches and methods that can be used in order to ensure that we have a data-driven strategy in different areas. This includes, for example, I'll just give some examples if we have time. For example, we can use custom consumer behavior analytics to have insights on patterns. And so, from government perspective, that can help to design the services based on the consumer needs rather than assuming what the consumer need. Another thing we can do is conduct sentimental analysis. So we don't just collect feedback, just feedback. Actually, we listen to the unspoken words from the consumer. So we can find out whether they're frustrated about a particular product or they're happy about a particular product. This can be easily done through the social media using machine learning models. So I think we should take data as an opportunity. Technology is moving fast. Let's use this data as a fuel to address it in our strategies.
Great. Always the citizens comes first, and we want to use e-transformation services. And sometimes they compare us to other nations. They say we are a little bit behind, but actually we are exploring the technology that fit our needs, that we could ensure that you're going to use it, because there is also the education gap. I mean, you cannot compare technology by itself, but you need to compare the maturity of the nations themselves on using this technology. So when they are mature enough, then we could use the technology safely and securely. And that comes to you to also provide services and security in mind product. What do you think about this statement? Like what I said a minute ago, you want to produce a technology tool, but really you want it to work first, and then you will think how to secure it. What do you think about this statement?
Well, Oman being a welcoming nation, and we're known for our hospitality and technology with hyper-personalization, we can create a hub where customer experience can be served in a very secure environment. And we are a conservative nation in our mindsets and culture. And that kind of complements the security element where we're open but yet closed. We greet, but then we contain. And if you think about it from that aspect, that reflects our behavior throughout. It reflects our behavior even when it comes to how we deal with data. So we are welcoming to other people's data,
so our
and we will
application
secure
have
them.
الهوية العمانية on it, have our persona, but again, we not easy to be fooled. Yes, we are hospitable, as you said, we're welcoming, but you cannot take leverage.
Absolutely.
I like that. Abdullah, what do you think in terms of people and they are trying to just buy technology without thinking in security? You're coming from a security background, your company's done a lot of work with other agencies. The human factor is the weakest link, but is it really today happening? Is it the weakest link still?
So the human factor is simultaneously your greatest liability and your greatest strength. And it is up to us to ensure that it is our greatest strength and not our greatest liability. I see this a lot in that a lot of the time when we implement security, maybe with not a lot of forethought, we end up creating barriers for people that stop them from doing their work efficiently. And so as a response to that, as a natural human response of someone who wants to get their work done, they find workarounds. And that then results in security or in this person being a liability. So from our job as technologists is to ensure that security is as transparent as possible and as convenient as possible to people. It should always be there from the start, from day one. As a comment to what you said earlier, which is in businesses we make something work and then think about security. This approach from a business perspective is not very sound because it does end up increasing cost at the end of the day. And you end up with a worse product. But if you take security into consideration from your design phase, from day one.
Security by design.
Absolutely. Yeah. Then it means that security becomes part and parcel of whatever it is that you're delivering. And that, again, ties into the human factor where when it is just part of whatever you're doing, it becomes a lot easier to do.
True, but then they will not need you for security, eh? So we should keep them in the dark on this, or we'll be out of the business.
We will always have work to do.
You think? Okay,
Yes.
I hope so. Well, great answer. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being in this panel. It was lovely chatting with you and discussing technological and regulatory aspects. It's good to see that we are meeting demands and we are growing as well, and we are adapting, not really falling behind. I would like to thank the organizers for putting this panel together and the lovely audiences for bearing with us through this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To start the proceedings, we invite on stage Namir Khan, the chairman of MENA FinTech Association and founder and CEO of Fils. We will be speaking on embedding sustainability into transactions through innovative fintech and blockchain technologies. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing? Hope you all are doing absolutely fantastic. Always a tough time, as you must have heard. After lunch is always the most difficult time to speak. But I'll try to do justice in terms of quickly, in a snapshot, speaking about sustainability, financial services, so that you can leave with something when it comes to sustainability itself. My first question to everyone would be very quickly, when it comes to sustainability, I'll ask you all a question. What is the sustainability commitment in terms of the going carbon neutral by Oman? Does anyone know by what year are we going carbon neutral in Oman? The net zero. 20 what? Something 20, right? What? 50. We had a 40 as well, right? So it's 2050. That's the net zero commitment by Oman. Now, before we even talk about that, my quick question, in fact, I'll just take a step back. This is a country commitment, and this country is a part of a region. The region has its own commitment, and the region is part of the global community with different countries all over the world, correct? Every country has its own commitments in order for us to achieve the global net zero target, which is by what? Does anyone know that too? Anyone? What's the global commitment? 2050. Okay, that's also 2050. So Oman is basically in the race to become that. Now, when we're talking about this problem of sustainability and we're talking about carbon emissions, what is that problem? Where is this problem coming out from? Let's talk about that. So, carbon emissions today is a product of consumption, correct? Consumption is a product of what? Spending. And spending is a product of payments. So if you look around you, whether it's whatever you have seen around you, it could be this lamp, it could be the mobile in your hands, or it could be anything in front of you. It's either a retail or a corporate payment, either it's a card-based transaction or a non-card transaction, correct? But it is a transaction, be that a small transaction for 1 Omani Riyal to probably 10 million Omani Riyals. It is a transaction when you're talking about supply chain trade as well. So the important thing to understand, this is where financial services plays an extremely critical and important role in order for us to understand where the emissions are majorly coming from. And financial services are going to play an extremely critical role in that. Now, if you're looking at today, the overall, I'm going to talk about the target that we have to achieve by 2050 for carbon neutrality. Now, there are two ways to basically remove the emissions, two ways. One way is when we all, and you all, make your processes a lot more efficient. What is making your processes a lot more efficient? Clean energy, solar power, making sure you are making wise use of the energy that you're consuming as well, correct? Second, now, just stick to this point for a moment. Now imagine today you are emitting 100 this year, 2025, okay? Now this year you start making improvements in your processes and you start becoming a lot more efficient, greener. So what happens is by next year, let's say you're emitting not 100, you're emitting 95. You made 5% improvement in your processes, correct? So you're emitting 95 versus 100 this year. What happens? 95 is still out in the market, which you have thrown, the emissions. There are two ways to achieve this, net zero, as I mentioned. One is basically ensuring that you make your processes efficient. Second is carbon removal. Now, what is carbon removal? Carbon removal is when you basically pay for the emissions that you have out in the market. Correct? I hope everyone's with me. Yeah? You have to remove those emissions by paying for it. That is where the carbon markets comes into play. And I will tell you the importance of carbon markets as well. There are two ways, there are two types of things in carbon markets. One is, the first one is nature-based carbon removal. What is nature-based carbon removal? Can anyone contribute towards this? It's very simple. You all see this probably as one of the most, I would say, active sustainability initiatives. Can anyone contribute? Or maybe tree plantation, correct? So you're planting trees everywhere. What is that? That is a nature-based solution. The reason when you're planting trees is called carbon sinks. They're sinks that are basically absorbing the emissions. But how many trees would you plant all over the world? You would run out of space at the pace we're basically emitting. Does anyone know how much we are emitting every single year right now in terms of emissions? Not carbon, emissions overall. 50 billion tons of emission is emitted every single year. 50 billion, okay? Now you have to bring 50 billion every year to zero. That is a massive, I call this the transition economy. The opportunity is humongous. Economic opportunity is mind-blowing. Now, on top of that, the other thing that I would like to mention, 50 billion is one. We already have 1.5 trillion tons of emissions already in the atmosphere, which we had already emitted since the start of the industrialization. When industrialization started, we never cared about emissions, correct? Now we're talking about it, that we have to reduce. But now you also have the opportunity to remove the previous ones as well in the atmosphere. So I was at the point that you would have to basically plant trees or whatever you have to do in nature-based. You will run out of space. Then there is a second way of doing this, which is called technology-based solutions. Technology-based solutions are, in fact, do you all know that in Oman only, you have the region's first DAC company? What is DAC? It's direct air capture. And what is direct air capture? Huge fans that are placed out in the open. And they suck the air in, and then when they suck the air in, they suck the carbon from the atmosphere, and they basically separate it in different forms. Oman is the first one to do this in the region, and you all should be very proud of it. DAC. So there are two ways to do it. Nature-based solution, technology-based solution. Nature-based is cheaper, technology-based is more expensive. These are carbon credits I'm talking about. The companies buy carbon credits. So going back again, first way to do this is to make your processes more efficient. But let's be practical. You cannot switch off the button today and become green, correct? You have to start to transition slowly and gradually. And therefore, you would need carbon removal because what you have emitted as large corporates, you would have to slowly and gradually, you would have to make your processes efficient, and you also would have to buy the carbon credits. Now, why is this important? Some of you will be wondering, oh, maybe we don't need this, correct? But if you're trading with any European country or any country that has a strong commitment, then you would be forced to do it. So it's important that you take the opportunity when it comes to, when you're talking about the transition economy, you leverage it. So carbon credits right now, this year's $4 billion market, okay? 4 billion. By 2030, what's the market size for this? Any number? $100 billion. So it's a 9.6x growth that you're expecting in the next 5 years. So that tells you the opportunity you have in front of you. Now, this opportunity means that all these large corporates, and by the way, $100 billion by 2030 and $250 billion by 2050. That's the market size of it. This region is leading it. This region is driving it. So it's important for businesses and organizations to start embedding solutions into their own business models and customer journeys. The second thing that I would like to mention is there's pressure. So one is the overall opportunity that you see over here. But if you're not interested in the opportunity, the second is the pressure that you will get. The pressure is already there from government commitments, which would translate into policy commitments, which means policies are going to force you that you have to start disclosing your carbon emissions. If not, the customers are becoming a lot more aware today. 70 to 75% of the customers, we're talking about the younger lot, are today looking to switch their banks or the brands they're working with based on sustainability. If that was not the case, many of you would go to a superstore today, correct? A supermarket. You would see brands saying sustainably packed, sustainable this, sustainable that. Why? Why are brands doing this? Because they have studied your psychographics. They know what the customers are wanting today. So I just wanted to basically highlight the opportunity that we have over here. It's very critical for banks and financial services to start embedding these solutions. It's an economic opportunity. When I went out initially for my own company, Firas, the conversation was like, okay, sustainability is not something we would typically want. And I knew when the winds would go in a different direction very soon. We continue towards this. But the important thing is today, all the banks, we have around 110 plus banks in our network, are now focused towards one thing: how to embed greener solutions, because they have board pressure, they have customer pressure, and most importantly, there's an economic opportunity that now the financial services are seeing in front of them. So my point is simple, that the economic opportunity is massive, it is humongous. The country is now moving towards embedding this into their business models and customer journeys. Why? Because the country has a commitment. If a country has a commitment, both public and private sector will have to contribute towards it. And most importantly, the economic opportunity is there. We call this the transition economy. So looking forward to exchanging more notes with many of you. I'm always there, I'm always available otherwise as well. Please reach out to me. And thank you for your patience and listening to me as well. I hope it was useful. Thank you.
So this brings us to the last session of DLive. It's time for the second panel discussion. The topic for the discussion is AI shaping the future of work, life, and beyond. Our panelists include experts in AI-driven technologies and services, as well as professionals with deep insight into how AI can be effectively integrated into our work and everyday decision-making. Let's invite them on stage. Please welcome Ali Hassan Musa. He is a financial expert and advisor, National Program for Fiscal Sustainability and Financial Sector Development, Ministry of Finance. He is a professional with vast experience across banking, technology, real estate, and hospitality sectors. He was instrumental in establishing and heading the Oman Banks Association, created to be the voice of the Omani banking industry. He is also a member of the Finance and Insurance Committee at the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Please welcome our next panelist, Dr. Kamal Al-Sabahi. He is the Director of the Center of Excellence in FinTech at the College of Banking and Financial Studies, CBFS. A specialist in AI, data science, and digital transformation, he brings a rich background spanning academia, industry and entrepreneurship, led strategic research, curriculum development, and fintech innovation initiatives across the region. Dr. Kamal Sabahi. Please welcome our next panelist, Dr. Haider Lawati, Senior Manager AI in Oman Data Park. He has more than 13 years of dedicated experience within both the telecom industry and academia. Throughout his career, he has spearheaded diverse projects encompassing network planning, strategic and operational planning, project management, and innovative network solutions. His academic journey led him to achieve a PhD from the prestigious University of Toronto in Canada. Following his PhD, Haider delved into cutting-edge AI research, contributing to both academia and industry in Canada. Please welcome our next panelist, Hamza Adil Mohammed Al-Sabri, Security Operations Center Lead at Sekurado, Oman's leading managed security service provider. As the country's first GIAC-certified Security Operations Manager, GSOM, he deploys AI-powered threat detection and automated response workflows to enhance visibilities, speed mitigation, and protect clients in finance, logistics, and energy. At Sekurado, he mentors and leads a team of skilled Omani analysts, collaborates with stakeholders, and shares his insights through industry talk, training workshop, and lectures at Oman universities. We now invite on stage our moderator, Sanjeev Madavi, Digital Transformation Consultant at PwC. He has 28 years of global experience in innovation, digital transformation, new business ventures, and operational excellence. He excels in innovative tech-based business ecosystems and building digital enterprises, harnessing operational excellence, risk governance, and performance management. He was also the National Technology Director at the Asyada Oman, where he led the digital transformation for its 15 government operation companies and implementation of SOLS 2040. Looking forward to an insightful discussion. Over to you, Sanjeev. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emna. I think we have to thank our sponsors for giving us this August forum, as well as to give a chance to address our ideas and thoughts to you, the audience today. We really look forward to sharing with you some of our insights and sort of expertise in terms of how AI, we feel, will be shaping the world of the future. We will be bringing some of the perspectives locally down into the region as well as into Oman to see how AI can be shaping the strategy, the execution, as well as the insightful return on investment on all the investments we look for from an AI perspective. Thank you so much to our panelists as well today for joining us. I'm reminded by a quote from Mr. Stephen Hawking where he said, AI could be one of the biggest discoveries that humankind has made, but many feel it could be our last in case we're not able to control the risks of taming the beast. So we always talk of AI in a very collaborative fashion. That's the positive spin to the story. We say humans have to worry about AI taking their job, but they don't have to worry about it if they use AI to do their job better. So keeping that as one of the positive themes from our discussion, and later on we will delve into other aspects about the positives and the negatives, as well as the potential areas of strategy and execution we need to work in both enterprises, private, as well as possibly in government entities. We have a wonderful panel here. So let me first start by posing a question to the panel in terms of their thoughts about the top 3 AI benefits or use cases that they see will impact Oman, the GCC in general over the next 5 to 10 years. Maybe we can start with Mr. Ali, in case you want to give your perspectives first.
So with AI, I'm not really an expert of AI, but the applications of AI are as we all know, especially in banking, in finance, in insurance. That's my forte. So in banking, is data analytics, because banks have your profiles. All of our profiles are with banks. And data analytics are the key. So analyzing the data, the behavior of our spending, that's the potential of AI in banking. Risk management, fraud detection, that's secondary in my view. But giving us as humans, as customers of banks, the best services is to do with AI, because humans have limited capabilities in terms of time, in terms of analysis. AI complements that. Imagine today if I spend like in a month using my card, fixing my car, tire, service, engine problems, all this is data goes to the bank because it's my spending behavior. Imagine the bank sends me a specialized message saying that we have a special offer for you for a car loan. Can this happen today? Yes, of course, but not in Oman so far, because we get random messages. So that's one application. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, I agree, totally agree with Mr. Ali here. But I have to bring something else. You know, Bill Gates said once that AI is the technology that has no limits. And also, I have heard also the founder of Amazon, he said also that they are using AI in every aspect of Amazon. They're experimenting. It doesn't have to be in production yet, but they are experimenting a lot of things. In my opinion, there are major use cases for AI that is now pioneering the whole thing, which is the first one is the personal assistant. AI is now is part of our life. Every individual now, and even the statistics said that maybe by 2028, 90% of humans, they will have a kind of robot that help them do their job faster, better, and also cheaper as well. So those are use cases, and in the healthcare, in the finance, everything we'll see AI augmenting the human intelligence, and this is the key thing that is happening now. So we'll, inshallah, as we discuss, we'll bring some more cases, and we'll expand on this later on, inshallah. Thank you.
Hi, hello, good afternoon, everyone. I think it's a good question to start the session with, bringing different people's perspective to this. For me, let me kind of categorize the use cases into two broad categories, personal and professional. At the personal level, I guess today we see generative AI like ChatGPT and similar, generative AI-based applications are the ones that are targeted mainly to the normal, public, general public. Before this evolution, all the AI thoughts and talks were in the work environment, how businesses or academia can benefit from or can improve the AI. But this ChatGPT innovation made it possible for the general public to benefit from it. So just extending to what Dr. Kamal was saying, maybe in the future everybody will have his own personal assistant, virtual assistant, that can help them achieve certain tasks that are repetitive. See, many years ago, for me to send a letter to you, if you are Sanjeev, you are in India, I try to reach you either by phone or send you a letter by mail. That will take a few days to get there. Today, I don't need to do that, sending by email. And at some point, email was a magic for people. How can I reach somebody at the other side of the world in a few seconds, right? But similarly, you will see that I can attend multiple meetings at the same time by using my virtual assistant. So I don't have to be physically there. Maybe I have 3 meetings scheduled at the same time, but I'm sending my copies of my virtual assistant to attend these different meetings, and they can summarize and give me the brief at the end. So that is maybe at the personal. It can also go with the professional. But at the professional level, AI is not just generative AI. There's beyond that. There's a classical AI, machine learning algorithms. Algorithms are algorithms. They've been developed to do lots of things, to mine the data. The data analytics part is a really important use case. We make decision based on what we know, right? So if the quality of that knowledge is improved, our decision automatically will improve. So this is where AI, machine learning algorithms help us by improving our outcome, our decision based on giving us insight of things that we don't see normally. So anything around generative AI, decision making, and classical machine learning, I think these are the three main use cases that we benefit from.
Over to you, Hamza.
Yes, thank you, Sanjeev. First, thank you for having me here. I think I'm a new face and a new name to almost everyone here, but inshallah, we'll see in the future. So your question is an excellent question, and I actually have something in mind that I see day to day is continuously being used by AI, and it's sort of a double-edged sword, actually. So thanks to AI, mainly LLMs, let's say, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, etc., I think it has inflated the knowledge of some people, let's say like that, in some good ways. The good ways are, for example, when you have a junior person joining on your team, they don't need constantly a senior person to be with them always to teach them, to give them the information. They can pick up things much quickly. So your onboarding time or process is much faster than usual. But then you get some people who are using it mainly to get, or as their main source of information, or acting as the knowledge base where they get their information when they're not actually up to the mark in that case. So sort of a double-edged sword, but I see it day to day. Yes, it helps me sometimes when there's a topic I don't understand anything about. I can quickly get up to speed to it. But maybe it's not the best thing. I cannot give the best advice as someone who has worked 20 years, 15 years in the field itself. But also it helps me tremendously with a lot of the new graduates that we onboard, for example, etc. It helps them supplement their work where they actually can hit the ground running, as we say. But also it also helps me how to manage them and deal with different situations with them while they're using AI. So this is another problem also, where the new generation, let's say the new people, the fresh graduates, etc., using AI, majority of their work is being held or being carried by the AI. It's an unfortunate fact, but it's a fact that we have to deal with and adjust to or adapt to. So yes, our daily use case, basically everyone uses it. From me, from the lowest person or the most junior person to the CEO is using it. Is it good that they are using it to supplement some things or take some decisions for them? I'm not sure. Is it good for the senior or the juniors to showcase, or sometimes they'll showcase they know more than they actually know, which is might give more confidence to their skills, but when you put them in a real world scenario where they have to use their own knowledge, it becomes a problem. It's a double-edged sword, but I think this is a thing that we have to adapt to and manage in some way.
No, very, very aptly put, Mr. Hamza. I think, as they say, technology is neutral until you implement it. And I think the use cases as well as the potential ideas you want to incorporate from the technology is where you can look at either a positive or the other side of the story. I think for us, while we are on the juncture where for the last 10 years in Oman, we have been talking about fourth industrial revolution technologies, onboarding of emerging ideas. And from there now to the recent statistics which I came across, which mentioned that in Oman, the technology investments around AI today are centered around almost 60 million Omani riyals, and that almost out of that, 90% of that is actively being used by businesses for bringing projects as well as running POCs around AI. In the light of this, as we say, while AI is being taken up as a very, very quick, surefire method of achieving business transformation, how do you see companies going about implementing the entire AI story, do you have any ideas in terms of what would be the first 5 steps or the first 3 steps they should follow in order to begin the story correctly and ensure there is a successful culmination of the idea? Mr. Ali, if in case you can share some thoughts on that.
Sure. So AI applications in business are happening in Oman as we speak, and elsewhere, of course, in more advanced way. Examples I can share that today, a couple of banks, without naming them, they're experimenting with AI to improve their services. There is a fintech that is also using data analytics. There is an insurance company, an Omani insurance company that works, that has business across the border that uses AI models. So there are a lot of applications available for Omani companies. There are also potentials for companies to use AI in sustainability. You know, Mr. Khan before us presented an amazing presentation on sustainability. There are ESG models, environment, social governance models relating to sustainability that use AI models. And this is a big thing in Oman, ESG. ESG framework has been published by the Central Bank of Oman. The Ministry of Finance has a sustainability framework for issuing bonds. The Financial Services Authority mandates all publicly listed companies to issue sustainability reports. And AI applications there are huge potential. So that's a new area for Oman in terms of using AI. Even further, the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund Financial Sector Assessment Program, climate risk is a pillar, is a new pilot program even for Oman. Again, AI applications there can be used to provide information, data analytics, predictions. So we have predictive analysis, predictive analysis as well as other matters that AI can help with.
So, Dr. Kamal, according to you, how do you see a company implementing AI? What would be the top 3 steps for them?
Yeah, I think there is, because everyone is talking about AI, the market is booming, everyone is excited about AI, the potential. But I think there are a lot of, there are a lot of hype behind AI, what it can do. But in my opinion, for a company to start adopting AI, they should start with the business strategy first. Business objective, they should have the business value in mind. Because without that, it's not just like about how can I use AI. It's about how AI can create value for me. And we remember, this is my opinion, I think some people might disagree with it. I think when we remember the dot-com bubble that happened when the internet just emerged, a lot of companies, their value in the market went high just by having .com in their domain or something. And now the same is happening with AI. The market has created something, a kind of urgency, and the fear of missing out is pushing everyone to invest a lot of money, without clear business strategy, clear revenue model. And those are things that we need to take care of. Because AI is not, yes, the potential is very high, but we need to be focused. We need to experiment, because otherwise the bad experience will pull everyone back. This is a key thing that we need to consider. Then after that, if we list those priorities, those low-hanging fruit, maybe we can start, that will deliver real business value, then I think we can take it forward into implementation. And also, there are a lot of complications when it comes to not just like about training AI. It's not a big deal. It's about also maintaining it. It's about the deployment. It's about also what comes after that, update, maintenance, data. A lot of things will come along the way.
So if I may add to Doctor's comments, absolutely agree. AI is not a big thing. It's specific applications where they help you to implement your strategy. So specific applications, start small, think big, but that's the way forward. It's not a big hype,
So coming to you, Dr. Haider, with Oman Data Park, I'm sure AI must be a big story for you to share with your clients as well as with the prospects. How did you go about the entire idea?
Before getting to Oman Data Park in particular, just trying to kind of reiterate on these gentlemen's comments. And this question about where to start with AI keeps repeating, which is good that people are thinking about AI. Asking that question is the beginning. And I recently mentioned this in another platform that there are two ways we can implement AI. One is we observe what others have done and then kind of replicate that. And the other way is to start internally and assess what we are suffering from, what the problems are, start with a problem statement, and then come up with a solution accordingly. And I prefer the second. And this is just the same as what Dr. Kamal mentioned about having a strategy. And the reason is that if we just look at what others have done, they have crafted or innovated something that solves their problem. Importing those solutions to our entities will not solve our problems. Because excuse me, those solutions are designed for some specific problems, unless the problems are similar, right? No two patients go to the doctor, get the same medicine, normally, unless they have the same symptoms, the same diseases. So starting from the basics, asking that question the right question to ask, and then having a strategy, having knowledge. 80% of the AI projects fail because of lack of strategy and clear problem statement. And then at the end of the day, we said that we failed, right? Because we were not aware what we were trying to solve here. So identify what you want to solve, what the problems are, what the pain points are. Accordingly, you devise. Maybe the solution is not AI in that case, in some cases, right? Coming to ODP, AI department is a new department. It's less than 2 years. I've been there for 1.5 years, and ODP, as a leading company in selling infrastructure to the market, started their AI journey by investing into these expensive infrastructure, believing that the entire market will need it. We have state-of-the-art GPUs that can run the AI workload. And we invite lots of companies to come and try it and use it. And we had lots of successful POCs. And some companies are using it. And some companies today are asking even to increase their quota because they are running some significant workload. But that is when it comes to our external businesses. Internally, we are putting our own strategy here because we realize that we have to have a clear strategy. But we didn't have the experts. Now we have the experts in-house. So we're building that strategy. We're starting with automation. There are lots of things that were taking too long, and now they're taking much, much shorter duration. Decision making, looking at the data. We have bulk of data that we have to have good strategy around the data. So this is where we're starting, and this is what we're executing. And we believe, and I personally believe, that AI, you should not go very high with it and listen to that, kind of get excited with the hype. Start step by step, understand, evaluate each step, move to the next step. This is how I think AI will be more successful and more guaranteed.
So,
but your services are very expensive.
Well, it depends on the context. Compared to whom?
You can probably have a side discussion.
Compared to no one, because...
Okay, let me tell you this thing. We are running free consultancies to many of our customers, and there are a good number of banks over the past year or so. They have moved from their on-prem infrastructure to us because we were able to save them up to 50% of operational costs. So are we more expensive than their own on-prem solutions? I don't know.
No, I think I can probably comment on that in fair measure. Being in Oman for the last 19 years and being one of the earlier clients of Oman Data Park when it started back in 2013-14. From those days to today, I think it's become a very, very competitive sort of field, as well as the
Absolutely.
proposition is very,
I am a fan of Oman Data Park.
embalming for us.
What's that?
I'm a fan of Oman Data Park.
Okay, thank you. Good to know that.
Thanks, Dr. Haidar. So coming to you, Mr. Hamza, when we talk of the potential AI opportunities in cybersecurity, we have two kind of stories to look at, and I'm just looking at the audience here to see what would be their feeler. So of course we have the very strong established businesses in Oman who definitely want to augment their cybersecurity strategy as well as the execution plans. And then we have a whole lot of startups, small and medium enterprises who have just begun their story. And I'm sure they are in as much of need of cybersecurity as the big enterprises. So what would be your answer to a large business? And what would be your answer to a small and medium enterprise trying to bring cybersecurity with the help of AI?
That's a great question, Sanjeev. Thank you. So I'll talk about this from my experience. So at we're MSSP at Securado, our co-founder and the CEO had the foresight, right, to have the strategy from 2 years ago of we have to build something with AI. Of course, many trials and errors have been there until we actually understood exactly why do you need to, or how can you actually implement AI. And everything that my co-panelist has said are absolutely true. You need to have a strategy, you need to have a problem statement, you need to have something that you're trying to solve. So what we have done actually is we have looked at the different parts of our operations, let's say. So as the manager of the Security Operations Center, we have the people, the processes, the technologies, etc., that are basically, what is happening in the operations. So we've looked at the people, right? What is the problem? What are the problems that we have with the people? What are the problems that we have with our technologies and our process? And then we try to implement AI based on that, right? So that's how any organization, whether big or small, you have to look at it in this way. How far away am I, or how mature am I in my cybersecurity, let's say, framework to require me to implement AI? Am I facing challenges in this specific part of my framework, let's say in the identify part, or in the detect part, or the response part, or the recovery part? Or do I have some of them already handled well, and on some of them I'm facing some issues, whether to the lack of people or undefined processes, or my technologies are not up to the mark to, let's say, detect some certain things, attacks or anything like this. So this is where you identify your problem, and then where is my AI comes in. Let's say, for example, you have a security operations center. You're a large organization. You have your own internal one. You're not doing a hybrid model or a completely outsourced one. And then you say, I have these problems. My team is always having these problems with these certain processes that I have, and some of my technologies are not up to the mark because maybe they're not fulfilling their required functionality or requirement that I have them for. How can I use AI for it? Now this becomes your problem statement. For example, let's take a very simple example, which is the simple attack that happens. It's just phishing email. It happens to everyone. Now the main problem with this is that even the current security controls that we have can be bypassed, right? It can easily be bypassed because if you recently saw any of the new attack through Google, where people were able to impersonate through Gmail basically and send phishing emails through Gmail where they can pass SPF, DKM, all the different authentication checks. So there are still ways for phishing to bypass your email security gateway, for example. Now the new solutions that are there for AI is using AI or separate models to try to detect different things through the context of these emails, for example. So the problem was here is that I have my security controls. They work, they can block most of the things, but some things still bypass me. Whenever there is someone who really wants to get to my organization, they can still bypass my security control. How can I fix this problem? How can I detect it, right? So some solutions are coming up right now through the use of AI to actually solve this problem, this issue that is here. This is part of the technologies part. Let's say from the people or the process, you have extensive processes for every single thing that happens. For example, let's say an attack happens, right? It might take a very long time or your response time is not adequate to respond to this attack. So now you have to automate it, use AI in some way, so you can fix this problem, this issue that you have, bring down the response time. So you use some tools that like security orchestration automation response, implement playbooks, add the automation to them, add the AI, etc. To fix this problem. So if you're a larger organization, most of your processes, you might have the best technologies, the best people, etc. Then your use case is actually different. You need to look at way to enhance the people that you already have, and then actually go, see where you're failing, where is your production line failing mostly, right? For smaller organizations, you need to focus on the bigger things that have the biggest impact on your end. When using AI, you don't need, so if you have it outsourced, for example, to someone like Securad or any other MSSP, we have already figured out all these things. We have all the AI technologies and solutions. And the problem, you basically transfer the problem of moving to AI or whatever problem you have to us, and then we actually resolve it for you. So there's both scenarios. There's a different thing. It's an excellent question from your end. And I think I can expand much further on each one of them. Of course, case-to-case scenario, it changes.
Indeed. No, thank you so much for that, Mr. Hamza. So one of the recent studies that we actually came across within our organization was about the impact of AI under the different aspects and parameters of work life. And starting for any organization or any enterprise, you start with workforce and job automation as an impact area with 98% chance of success. Followed by, we look at cybersecurity as the next best option at 90%. Then we have supply chain optimization, operations, HR and recruitment. We're looking at remote work efficiencies, financial fraud detection, which I'll come to soon, customer services, as well as legal automation, personalized marketing, and creativity. Now, why creativity comes last, I'm sure all of us in the room know by now, because there is always the big advent about artificial intelligence not having the natural creativity inside it. But coming back to an industry perspective on this, and again, this is where I'll start with you, Mr. Ali. We are looking at banking and finance in a new light because of AI. And the idea is everyone has three considerations. One is we have a vast amount of data that the banking and finance industry has captured over the last 30, 40 years of automation. Second, we have a very strong personal detail about the consumer in most cases now. And the third, we are running behind time, as most managements will say. We want to do it fast, we want to do it right now. What do you see would be the top three contenders in the banking and finance industry where AI can really make a quick impact, according to you?
Excellent question. So for me, is to improve as a customer, to improve my life. That's my priority, yeah? I don't need to get messages, random messages from banks, text. And now, by the way, they started text and WhatsApp. Why? I don't understand. So improving my life in terms of data analytics, hyper-personalization, not personalization, hyper-personalization, yeah? I need a message to come to me, proactive, to tell me, advise me on something relating to my spending, relating to my investment, relating to my saving, not for me to contact the bank and then get reactive messages. This is the first thing I want from a bank. Yeah? By the way, Amex in the US has a service where even if you don't pay your bill, utility bill, they send you an alert message saying, pay your bill, otherwise your credit score will go down. So this is alternate data. So it's proactive. Proactive messages, hyper-personalization. This is what I need. All of us need this. We don't need random messages. We don't need random, marketing kind of banks. Bankers, by the way, and as I said, I'm guilty, are lazy. This is a statement. Okay. whether you agree with it or not. But you know, that's a statement and an opinion rather than a fact. So so this is what we need. In terms of applications, imagine if you go to Lulu supermarket and you take a trolley, and that trolley has a chip that actually connects with your wearable, whatever it is, whether it's your phone or a watch, and tells you these are the special products. And if you go to the checkout, imagine this, and you have to pay like 39 riyals, 0.9, 900 beza. That actually, Lulu adds 100 beza in your account to make it 40 riyals. So you can use that 100 beza next time with benefits. Those applications are available. Such an application is available today with the second largest grocer in Switzerland. Yeah, and that fintech actually has an office in Dubai, DIFC. So there are so many applications that you can use with AI to monitor your health so that you get better insurance, for example. Yeah.
So coming to you, Dr. Kamal, banking and finance, I mean, we always talk of fraud detection, we talk of AI used, personalized marketing, chatbots and the like, and I'm sure there are countless use cases that have come about in the last 5 years. How do you see the top 3 use cases for banking and finance, and where do you see they should try to concentrate more?
Yes, that's a very great question here, especially in this context, the context of banking and finance. One of the things that the AI can help, the potential can be in 3 aspects when it comes to finance and banking. First one is in operation. Their core operation, how AI can contribute. For example, if I'm talking about insurance, for example, as one of the sectors, AI can be used for claim processing, to just like compile a lot of documents. And in banking, they can do even a good KYC for the customers. A lot of things can be there. And the second one is in customer experience. And this one is including, for example, chatbot, personalization that you have talked, and a lot of things can come under this category. The third one is about risk intelligence, right? This comes down to fraud detection, anomaly detection, a lot of things can come under this one here. Here's the problem. I'm not negative about AI. I'm very fan of the potential that it will bring, but I'm not happy with the over-promising around AI. A lot of hype. And this is one. The second one is, look, when we see banking and finance, we see a limited use case. This is globally, a limited comparing to other sectors, right? So for example, banking, we are not seeing, for example, AI used in core banking, right? When you go to banks, I think that's maybe because of the banks always, by nature, they are not fast to change, right? So now if you go to a branch, any branch, right, it will not look that much different than what happened maybe 100 years ago. This is just, it is extreme, but it is, I think, this is what I think. And AI will do a lot of things, but there are a lot of challenges. Some people, they say that they need regulatory clarity, and this one is still not that mature at the global level. And also another thing related to the core of their business. There are a lot of things that need to be changed to create ecosystem that can fit all this together, right? So these are things but I think this one will be changed maybe in the next 5-10 years. We don't know. But for sure, still, I think it's still not that much mature when it comes to the core banking and finance operations to be automated. And even some people, they say that, yes, it will augment the human work. The human should be in the loop when it comes to automation. But there are a lot of things around the automation buys and other things that we might expand in our session here today if we have time.
Well, thanks
Just a
for that.
quick comment to what Mr. Ali said. He mentioned and brought up some very nice examples. As a consumer, I'd love to see these kind of options, services offered to me in the market. But I keep wondering that if I don't think from consumer, but from like a business point of view, why would a bank or a grocery store be urged to bring these kind of innovative solutions using AI and technology and put it in place? If there is no maybe competition, that will force them to apply these. If their business as usual is doing well, why should I bother? Okay? If there is no demand from top management, why should I bother? If I'm not going to lose my job because of not bringing something innovative, why should bother? If you go to the banks, maybe they will throw it on the regulator. They say they will not allow. But if you talk to the regulator, they will say, no, it's not our job, right? Maybe then the regulator should incentivize the banks. Okay, if you are bringing some innovations, there's a return. Maybe that's what will incentivize them to go and do something new and innovative. Although that's not the job of the regulator to force them, but that might be a way for them to serve the nation and the country. That was my comment on what
Very
Mr.
true.
Ali mentioned. Yeah.
Very true. In fact, some of the new areas that we're now seeing, especially in the banking and the finance industry, is around embedded finance, where there are non-financial players who are now providing finance-related services because they want to have a size of the pie as well. So as you rightly mentioned, Mr. Ali, you can have Lulu offering you on-the-spot instant loans, in case you are falling short on your credit at any point of time, or even other service providers, utility companies, telecom providers who might try to expand their portfolio to providing with financial support for any of the transactions that you can offer on their platforms. Question to you, Dr. Haidar. Now, when we say technology development, and I'm sure that is one aspect we all talk about, AI's impact on technology development itself. Because if you recall the classical example 10 years ago when 3D printing became quite a rage, and there was this claim of somebody having 3D printed a 3D printer itself. So how do you see AI helping you with improving technology development faster, quicker, and accurately?
So we see today already big tech companies are relying on generative AI to even create codes to good extent, maybe 20, 30%, maybe 50% in some industries. And also as the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, has mentioned recently that the agentic AI will be there in the technology field to help us with the operation. So there are solutions and there are frameworks that help the evolution of the technology itself, using AI to build better technology. For instance, even looking at the large language models that is behind all the generative AI solutions, ChatGPT is nothing but a chatbot interface powered by a large language model sitting in the back. Today, when we are building large language models, one way to verify and to kind of check the quality of that LLM is to have an LLM as a judge. So you build a technology kind of software that is a judge that evaluates the technology itself. These kind of things will help us augment human. The thing is that it's not about replacing human. Sometimes to run certain tests and verifications and quality assurances, you need lots of resources, lots of people, right? You cannot have all those people available. So you use technology here to help building the technology. So there are lots of scope here, lots of potentials, but these things are still at the early stage. We should be careful when we're dealing with them. Human element is extensively in, highly needed. I mean, human experts here. We cannot rely completely on AI to build these technologies. The guidance of an expert is required.
But just augmenting that question further, when we say technology is no longer the domain of technologists and engineers, we're saying we're looking at the era of citizen developers, where every business person, even business analysts, operators, supervisors, managers who are business oriented and not very technology savvy can, and by themselves, create and run applications. How do you see that happen?
Sure, this is a good question. Yes, technology and the evolution of AI is helping technology becoming more democratic. So this is the idea of democratization of AI, so that people will be able, with a simple example from the past and maybe present, you had to be a website developer to build a website. Today there are lots of tools with a drag and drop. You can build a website, in an e-commerce website with all the tools, right? You don't have to be a developer to do that. Similarly with AI, you can have these drag and drop tools, prompt-based tools that you can build software. However, these softwares will be able to do things, but at certain point you will need an expert to dig deeper. And if there's any fundamental error or problem that is happening under the hood, you will need somebody who understands what is behind the scene to kind of fix those problems. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Haider. Coming to you, Mr. Hamza, a very different topic now to look at. We always talk about AI in a very positive manner, but as you know, over the past several years, we have come to hear of the other side of the dark story around AI. Talk about hallucinations, talk about biases, and talk about possibly the negative impacts it may have on a decision, that humans are involved in. How do you see this negative aspect of AI being tackled today? Do you think it can be solved very easily? And if so, how do you ensure AI functions without any bias or hallucination in your organization?
That's an excellent question, Sanjeev. So I think we already have some standards, regulations, stuff like this coming up for AI. I think there was a new ISO standard, new NIST as well for it as well. I believe hallucinations and all these different things are something expected out of, let's say, large language models that don't serve a certain purpose, let's say. Right? As Dr. Haider mentioned, agentic AI, where we are breaking it down to smaller things, right? Smaller tasks, or for certain smaller, to serve certain smaller objectives, where it is controlled, let's say, right? We don't want to reach, this is the next step that everyone wants to reach in AI, which is AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, right? Where it'll just do everything for you. You don't have to do anything. But I still think that the human element is still required there to validate and verify and ensure that, yes, this is a tool. It's not something to replace someone or replace a certain function in society or anything like that. So these people are there to actually guide it or monitor or see that these things are actually doing what they're supposed to do. For example, I'll just give an example from cybersecurity. I have to come back to that. Is that you can utilize AI, right, to replace some certain functions where you require a better response. Let's say an attack happens, anything like this. You want something to quickly stop the ransomware from spreading or anything like this, right? Where you can give, so we have our own AI technologies, etc., that we have developed internally at Securado, where it can take the action based on certain factors that are there, right? And it can also isolate a system or block a user or anything like this automatically, right? Based on its own outcome or output. So as a verification step or process is always required to be there to ensure that, yes, this output or outcome is still correct. I don't think we are still there where we can say, we can take it as gospel, whatever AI spits out, whatever is the output, that we can take it as, this is correct, let's go with it. But I don't believe that this is built, and I see this issue a lot with the new generation using AI, is that you might search for, you have a problem, anyone, you might have a problem that you're searching. I want this medicine, or I want to know, these are my symptoms. Please tell me, do I need to go to the doctor, or do I need to check? I think the ongoing joke in the health sector with the doctors is that you might feel a fever, and then WebMD tells you might have, some certain, let's say, cancer, or whatever it is, something that is, not very good. So I think AI is also prone to do that, to give those answers, and it's important to educate people to understand that what is coming out of it right now is not actually correct. You need to verify, you need to check, and hallucinations are, anyone has used ChatGPT or DeepSeek or whatever, and has given it more question and wanted to elaborate, it'll just start making things up by itself. to the point where it doesn't make any sense. To someone who doesn't understand that, they might take that thing as a fact, and it might lead to, as you said, some unfavorable or some bad outcomes to people.
I think that's a very important point he's making. There's a concept of responsible AI, right? And how to use AI responsibly. People, especially younger generations, they should realize AI outputs should be verified, and that having AI doesn't mean we stop thinking and our mind and brain takes a vacation. So it's really important that whatever comes out of AI at the end, it's a man-made. It can have some errors and mistakes. Yeah. Very good point.
I might add something to what they have said. That's very important. Yeah. When it comes to, for example, this one here, accountability and verification after AI. This is one of the things that people are talking about a lot, right? Even so, this brings us to my area point. Is about automation bias. Even if we said that human will verify what AI will say, we have as human something that we call automation bias. We turn to think that the machine is always right, better than us. So we overlook a lot of things, right? Especially if it is something very critical. This is one thing. The other factor is about explainability. Explainability, it means that AI, it's a black box. Most of the models, AI models, are black box. They cannot explain how they made this decision, right? Now, yes, even ChatGPT now, it gives some reasoning, but this one is after. It's just like when you make a decision based on your instinct, then you will ask why you have taken that, then you think about backward, how I have made this decision, but not before that. And this is something very tricky I need to work on, and this is, I think, the thing that prevents banking, for example, or those sensitive sectors from putting a lot of trust on AI. And the third one is about the ecosystem itself. So, for example, we have seen the self-driving car. They were there. The technology is mature, even a way better than human. A lot of people now are dying because of human mistakes, right? And even in healthcare, one of the most leading causes of death is doctors' errors, when they make something. AI will help in these things, but we need an ecosystem. For cars, we need smart routes. We need those cars to communicate with each other. For healthcare, we need something also to play there, to support. And also we need a regulatory part, ethical use and response. We need regulations. We need a lot of control. This way, we can have a complete ecosystem that will fit things together.
Well, thank you so much.
So if I may add to my colleagues, they have explained this in very much detail. So it's all to do with accountability, human touch, as well as ethics code. So regulation, I think it's important, but at a very high level, national level, security level, but not detail. Detail, you require only ethics code, yeah? So OECD, the Eurozone has a framework for ethics code for AI. Even UAE has an ethics code for AI. I think we need to establish that ethics code for the applications for AI. This is something missing in Oman.
No, indeed. I think, thank you so much for summing it up so well. So I think just to add to the facet of what we were discussing earlier, I think today, especially for the new generation who has really grown up with ChatGPT and DeepSeek as a primary source of information and content, there are courses now for prompt engineering. And I think people are now saying prompt engineering is the next most important thing you need to learn in order to utilize, the zillions data bytes of information that is available on the internet. So that's one thing which everyone in the new generation, especially the youngsters, are now trying to learn. Bringing, obviously, the panel to a quick closure, one comment was about the government and the regulatory aspect, where you mentioned ethical governance, as well as best practices, as well as cross-industry leverages that you might have. Because again, we are not exposed so far on our discussion to, say, the oil and gas industry, or we're not looking at the pharmaceuticals and the hospitality sector, where I'm sure there are umpteen cases of AI that can be brought about as well. Unfortunately, for the paucity of time, we will not do that. On the closing note, if I were to ask you to give us one directive, according to you, that you see AI fulfill for Oman, on the next 5-year horizon. I think 5 years is also very long term in today's AI world. People look at having literally 1 year and 2 year measures. So let me rephrase it. In the next 2 years, if Oman has to become a successful AI story, what would be your one directive that you would like to give? I'll start with you, Mr.
Okay, again, it's a difficult question. It's a very good question. Singapore is an example. So they currently have government subsidies, government support through their Enterprise Singapore, which is the equivalent of Oman's SME authority, for deep dive AI. So SMEs within deep dive AI, they get support from the government through these, and they export this technology. So it's not only for the use of the government and the people of Singapore, but they also export it. That's one of their largest exports today, is technology.
Yeah, yes, Doctor. I think two things. First one, we need to focus on building the talent, right? Capacity building. We need more people to be expert in this matter, local people, to localize the solutions. The first one. The second one is building an infrastructure. And I think Oman is doing well in this, in these two directions. And third one is something extra, that we need to take bold steps into adopting those kind of technologies.
I cannot agree more with Dr. Kamal that we first need to bring our talent, build our talent, and I think the country is doing that. Almost every university is adding machine learning AI program into them, but there should be really good curriculum design so that these people that are coming out are very competitive and equipped with this strong knowledge and skills. Number two, and most importantly, Oman wants to move from consuming technology into producing and kind of exporting technology. And that we need talent. That also feeds back to the same point. But we need also to give chance to our startups, to the Omani youngsters to go and try it. Don't fear. Take risks. Let them learn. People in the other countries, they try. They didn't want something that is well-proven solution everywhere that has happened somewhere else. They decided to try it on themselves first. So take the chance of trying it. Support them. If they fail, build that culture of embracing failures and kind of learn from that failure to build something even better. That is the way how we can improve. We can better experience, stronger knowledge, and then we can export it outside.
Over to you, Ms.
Yes, so I think everyone already has mentioned the main problem that we have here actually is that we have the vision, right? We have the goal post. We know what we want exactly out of AI. We want to be the best. We want to have the latest things, etc., etc. But I think, and this is from the senior people, the strategists in the country, etc. But the people that will actually have to implement this, the people that are actually executing these things, I think are not there yet, and they require the support. As my co-panelist mentioned, they require the support, and they require someone to show them the vision that, yes, you might be studying for AI and ML right now, but actually we have these different openings or these different opportunities that you're actually going to feed directly into once you graduate, let's say, where there is actual value coming out of you, and we're getting something in return out of you studying this. So, yes, building our capabilities is the most important thing. From a personal experience, when we were trying to build our own AI solutions, and etc., the main issue was getting someone who actually knows how to do it, right? Someone who knows how to actually build a model in the beginning, train it, and the prompt engineering, and then all these different things. Took a long time, but basically once you get there, you see actually you have someone on board that actually is very good at developing all these things, and the outcome is much greater than, or is as great as you would have hoped, right? It's not just the AI rush or gold rush that is happening, yes, I believe we need more Omani people in this, build the Omani capabilities to actually go and then implement these goals, these objectives, or this vision that we have, where we want everything to be AI-powered, etc.
Thank you for confirming my point.
Yes, the same thing. Yes.
So thank you so much. I think we are now almost summing up the panel. I can summarize it on behalf of the panel with 3 directives. First and foremost is to understand AI very well as a proposition, what it can and what it will do for you. Second is to craft a good strategy around AI in terms of what we are looking from a business case perspective, how the financial impact and the returns can be drawn. Third, as you rightly mentioned, I think the panel wholeheartedly agrees, we need to redevelop our working force capabilities. We need to have a renewed vigor towards AI as a fulcrum part of the curriculum in our schools and colleges. And last but not the least, I think ethical governance within the organizations and to ensure that the AI falls into the right positive frame of utilization, I think is probably one of the strongest indicators of success for our AI story. Thank you so much to all our panelists today, and thank you so much to the audience for being a very, very wonderful and quiet audience. But I think it's about time, in case there are any questions, if you'd like to pose to any of the panel members, please feel free to do that, please.
Thank you very much for the engaging and insightful discussion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the event, and would like to thank all of you for being such a wonderful audience. We are also thankful to our partners, to our speakers, for their support. The DLive Conference and Awards of 2025 is finally done. Thank you very much.